Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Rated TNT with Tim and Tay, the show where we talk about TV, movies, fanfic, fandom, and everything in between. I'm Tim. This is Tay. Thank you so much for being here. And today, you might notice one, our setup is a little different, but we also have some other familiar faces in the quote unquote studio with us. If you are here from TikTok, then these two people are not strangers to you at all because you probably see us all the time together. But for people that are unfamiliar, this is Alex and this is Tress, two of our favorite fangirl yappers who are joining us for a very special conversation about one of our favorite shows. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Cool. So we are going to jump right into the press play segment. If you have eyes, you probably have already seen what this episode is going to be about. But if you are unfamiliar, we are talking about Heated Rivalry, the Crave original that is also airing on HBO, based on Rachel Reed's Game Changers series, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, to start the conversation, I want to ask, what was your first introduction to Heated Rivalry? Because I had no idea about it before the show. In fact, I remember the first time I heard about it, we were on live and somebody had asked, like, oh, are you all going to watch Heated Rivalry? And I was like, what is that? I've never heard of it. And that was my first, like, introduction to it. So I had no idea until I started the show, but now I'm locked in. So what was everybody's first introduction to Heated Rivalry?
I know. I heard about Heated Rivalry probably like a year, maybe 2 years ago. Just because from Book Talk. It was very popular, but I knew it was the second one in a series. And so that just turned me off from reading it because I was like, I don't feel like reading a whole series. So I just never got into it. And then I finally read it or listened to it in June for my book club for Pride Month. And then I like truly listened and locked in on it like the day the show came out. But yeah, so I'd known about it for a while. I had not tuned into it really until like a week before the show came out.
My introduction was quite the same, actually. I was introduced to the book from Book Talk, and it was actually recommended from someone along with another book. For the Fans, if y'all done read Heated Rivalry, I'm sure y'all know what For the Fans is. But it actually just sat in my Kindle library for a while. I was in a reading slump, never got around to it. Then when the show came out, I was like, actually, maybe I need to dive into that. And started it, I also started it the day the show came out.
Was everybody on Book Talk?
Yeah.
I'm on that. Over there. Never made it over there.
And I actually need to be a little less over there in the people business.
Tress?
So real. I think I had heard of the book also through Book Talk. I just like didn't recognize the characters or anything. So the first time I like really remember hearing about it was when we were on live, just like you, Tim. And then when y'all all watched it, because you remember I tapped in a little bit later, I was like, okay, if they like it, I guess I'll watch it. Because I was like, no, like I can't really be obsessed with something right now. It's almost finals. And then, well, we know what happened.
It's so hard to believe that it was only a few weeks ago. Like I feel like we have lived a million lives since episode 1 of this show. But it's only been a few weeks. But like I feel like we have been like so deep off in this fandom. Like I can't even remember like what it was like before this.
I don't know who I was before this show started. Whoa. Like I had to go back on my account and scroll to see what the hell I was talking about before this show came out. Because I was always posting content, but I'm like, what did I talk about? And even looking back at the things I posted about, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about none of that anymore. Like I posted damn near 100 videos of Heated Rivalry just in the month of December. Like not even counting the like multiple I posted in the last 3 days of November when it was released. Like it has truly taken over.
You know, it's also insane to me, I will say, because like when the first 2 episodes dropped, the shit blew up. Like it took over everything. And like to think that we've only had like what, 4 weeks maybe of the show. It's really been, and like for us tonight, there's a point, a before and an after Heated Rivalry. Very distinct. Very also fucking insane that that is the case for a show that just was released. We didn't even have all the episodes, and there were so many edits. There was like people was talking about that shit like insane.
Shout out to the editors.
Shout out to the editor.
Quickly.
Truly. Them editors, and I just kept watching the tag girl on AO3. Every day I was checking it. It would go from like,
so fast.
It was like from 950, 1200 something, 1700 something. I think it's at like 4000 now, or 4500 now. I'm like, yeah, them people, they get to work.
It's gonna keep going. Like I simply cannot wait for the rest of the. Give them a couple weeks. I just think, and I'm ready for the AUs. I'm ready for all of the other.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah. We about to eat good during this hiatus. Them first 6 months, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun. We about to.
It's the only thing that's gonna get us through, really.
Truly,
yes.
Truly, like.
So for the listeners, watchers, however you are experiencing this, this is focused on episodes 1 and 2. However, we are yappers. So it is very likely that we will reference things from other episodes. So just a general blanket spoiler warning. If you have not seen all 6 episodes, granted the books have been out for quite some time, but still, want to be respectful of your viewing priorities or whatever. But episodes 1 and 2, I will say I was hooked 13 minutes in. 13 minutes into episode 1. Keep in mind, I had no knowledge. So like I actually didn't even know when the show was coming out. Like I remember we had that live and they were like, "Oh, are you gonna watch the show?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, I'll give it a watch." And then I literally woke up one day and I saw that people were like, "Oh, it's out." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know when it was coming out. Let me go see what's going on." Yeah, I sat down and was stuck.
The rest is history.
And was stuck. And I can't remember a time before that. I sat down to like, "Oh, let me see what everybody's talking about." And I don't know what happened before that moment because my life was in fact changed for good. So yeah, they had me hooked from like minute 13, really.
It was a regular old Friday for me. I was laying in my bed and I was just like,
I was also in the bed. I hadn't even gotten up yet. My feet hadn't even touched the floor yet. I was like, "Oh, let me see what's going on here." Yeah.
But I did raise up. It was 13 minutes in and I said, even though that I did in fact know that like obviously somebody recommended the book to me, I knew what it was about. I knew what they was getting up to in the book. Did not know that they was getting up to that shit in the prologue.
Okay.
Oh, y'all get a prologue.
I wonder how many people went in blind. Like how many people like went into it with like no knowledge at all of what to expect, and like just how surprised they were when we got to like minute 14:37.
There were so many people repeating that. They were like, "Oh, 14 minutes in and I'm seeing cheats." Yes. What are you talking about? Well, yes.
To be fair, I read the book and knew they were getting it on in the first 14 pages, like in the prologue. Yes. And I was still shook because I did not expect to see that level of intimacy and explicit sex scenes shown on television like that. Like I truly was shook to my core. I said, "Oh, we're bringing sexy back." That's what Jacob Tierney said, because I never in a million years would I have guessed that anyone who did an adaptation of that book, whether it's a movie, a show, whatever, that it would be that steamy. Like it would match the same level of spice from the book. Honestly, probably spicier than the book.
Actually,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I also think that like that's one of the things that made a lot of people so obsessed with it from the people that didn't go into it blind. I think, and then obviously for us who also ended up reading the book, they really kept it as close to the book as possible. Like it was one of the, or if not, I'm gonna say it, the best book adaptation that I have seen yet, and that has made me obsessed with it. I think that Jacob like did a really good job of like taking the story, obviously like making it what he wanted it to be, but still keeping very true to the source material. And I ate that shit up. I trust him with everything. Like actually, let that man down.
I'm rooting for Canada at the Olympics this year.
Yeah.
Speaking of, it just came out. Like I saw it a few hours ago that they're not eligible for the.
I mean, yeah.
I heard that a while ago when everyone like during like because they're fully foreign funded like program, they're not eligible, and they're not like the show isn't, the actors aren't like they're not eligible for any Emmys.
It's rigged because they knew nobody win nothing except Heated Rivalry.
Right. I'm like, honestly, everyone else should be happy.
I wonder, is that just the U.S. Emmys? Because there's also an international Emmy. So I wonder if like it includes that as well.
It has to just be the U.S. Emmys.
Yeah.
Because, I would think so.
This country, man, just so ridiculous.
Right. I feel like the biggest part of why it's so successful, though, like even when I see clips of like Jacob Tierney's like interviews and stuff, he so obviously respects the source material. Like, yes, is it a sexy hockey romance? Well, yes. But is there also a solid plot in the story? Yes. Like, I think that's something that a lot of people, whenever like people who don't read romance or smut, like, because to me there is a difference between romance and smut, and people who don't read it just like to lump it all together, and they dismiss anything that has any sort of sex scene as just mindless smut. Oh, that's just porn. Well, no, like there is a plot here, and it's not porn at all. That would be erotica. Like there is a difference between erotica, smut, and romance. And I think Jacob Tierney and Rachel Reed managed to blend the two of romance and smut without having the sex scenes overtake it. Like honestly, it just feels like we're watching an adult love story. Like it's a tragic love story because they're constantly in the closet for the whole show, but they're adults. They're grown ass people. This is grown folks' business. This is not high school. We don't need no Fade to Black because these are not high school characters. These are grown ass men. You can see them get a little freaky. It's like, it's okay. And I think that's something that that's one of the things I liked about it, because I'm like, even as a straight woman, there's certain scenes I can relate to, because I'm like, I like know the nerves of like going over to a hookups place for the first time. Like there's certain things that are just relatable that we don't see in television anymore, like at all. And I'm like, we need to start showing sexy scenes on television. Grey's Anatomy doesn't even have sex scenes anymore. There's not a single intern fucking an attending right now.
And what is the show without that, babes? That
is the show without that?
What are we talking about?
That's its roots. And you mean to tell me we went a whole season and a half, not a single attending and intern hooking up? No, this is truly how we fight back against fascism. We need to start seeing more ass on television.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, this is how we fight the patriarchy. This is how we fight everything. Start fucking on TV again.
I wholeheartedly, Jesus words, where they at? Agreed though, because like it also irritates me like when I'm reading a book and we're talking about adults and it does the Fade to Black in book version, because I'd be like, girl, we grown. Like I know these is grown people. We are grown. I know like they did not just fade to black, bitch. They was in there doing the do. Like stop. It's a part of life. Like it's so. And I also think that it irritates me because like sex is so ingrained in our society. Like, and it's just like, I think to ignore it or not like make it a part of the story is cheap. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's cheap because like it's a part of everything. So I feel like if you're going to do a show about romance, a part of the intimacy between partners is the sex. Like you can't come around it. Regardless of what kind of sex it is, it's a part of it. So like, why not show it? Why not, have it be a part of it. And that their intimacy coordinator, Shayla, baby, you need the fattest of checks.
Listen,
Okay,
because she was working overtime. She was working
overtime.
hard on that set.
What?
I know she's going to be booked and busy for other TV shows.
Yes.
Forever, for the rest of her
Like,
career.
And we love that for you, babes.
Right? Because you did a good job.
Truly.
You did a good job. I want to go back to what you said, Alex, about the source material and how Jacob Tierney, I think, really took it, consumed it, absorbed it, and like it showed in the work. I remember like one of the first videos that I saw about Heated Rivalry after the first two episodes came out were like book talk people. And they were like, oh, this is so great. Like, like complimenting it, which I was like, oh, this is kind of, granted, I was scarred by some other fandoms, but I didn't expect that the response would be so like positive. Like I was fully expecting to get online and see a lot of the book talk people saying, that's not what happened. It shouldn't have been portrayed like this. Like, but I was pleasantly surprised with like how positive they felt about the adaptation.
Yeah. I think when I tell you the first like conversation Shane and Ilya have in the first episode where he walks up to him when he's smoking outside, the first thing, what did Shane say to him? Like, oh, you're Ilya Rozanov, you're a great player, or something like that. Oh. And Ilya just looks at him and goes, okay. That interaction sold me. I said, they give him an Emmy right now. That the line delivery of Shane, his mannerisms, the way like he was managed to portray himself so like nervously, and then Ilya's sort of just nonchalant, almost dismissive, cocky attitude just from saying one word. I said, yeah. They got this shit in the bag. Like there is clear respect and understanding throughout the whole cast, throughout everyone who worked on the show. I mean, even just the tone of how the show's filmed, from the lighting, the camera lenses they use, like everything fits perfectly to the source material. Like I truly cannot think, this is gonna sound crazy. Y'all know I'm a huge Twilight fan, but the only other adaptation I can think of that's pretty good to the books is the first Twilight movie. Like in terms of like how it's filmed, like that was like that bluish hue over everything. Like it's a very Twilight thing, and that's kind of what you feel the vibe of when you're reading the book. But it literally phenomenal job. I don't want anyone else to ever do a book adaptation, like ever. They need to get approval from Jacob before anyone touches a book adaptation.
Well, yes.
I feel like at some point, especially if it is going to be a year before it comes back, like I feel like a Harvard or a SCAD or some university needs to invite Jacob Tierney to talk about like this whole thing, because he ate it up start to finish.
And every interview that he does, like how he talks about it, like you can just tell that like he really cared about bringing the story to life, and cared about it so much that he also was like advocating for Hudson to get the role because he saw the chemistry. A lot of people have their ideas about it. I love when they bring actors for their first time for a role. Like we don't always have to have some big name person. Like, right. Give people a chance. And I think they did exceptionally well. I also think that it would have been very different if we had people that were well known. I'll be honest. I think that Hudson and Connor took the time to learn the characters and like actually, because every time they talk about the characters, you can tell that they cared and like they actually wanted to give a phenomenal portrayal, in which they did. I think like you said, Alex, everybody involved in this just gave a real fuck about it. Like,
yeah, all the fucks.
Like they gave all the fucks about it. Like they really wanted it to be great. And like I love that because it shows.
Do you think it was, which I feel like I know the answer to this, and I feel like we talked about this before on live. Do you think it was as successful as it was because it was a Canadian show? Because they didn't have to worry. Because like, not to bring up that other program, but like there are some shows
Honestly, you can spin a wheel. There's so many programs you can pick from.
There's so many shows with like showrunners who have been in the game for years, right? And I feel like they in 8, 9 years of TV have not been able to do anything close to what Jacob Tierney has been able to do in 6 episodes.
Like
And
that.
so I a lot of it is the showrunner, let's be for real. But I do think the network also plays a huge part in that as well. And I wonder if like because it was Canadian and it didn't have to worry about like the rules of a Fox or an ABC or a CBS, they were able to take certain risks that shows that we see now just could not do.
I have a lot to say about that, so I'll let anyone else go first because I'll let any Tress or Tay you want to respond to that because.
I mean, I think absolutely it has a lot to do with the show being Canadian. And I think when you just look at Canadian television just in general, my mind always goes to Degrassi. Like, Degrassi was showing things that American shows that focus around teenagers just never did.
Yeah.
Like, not even the ones just on Disney, but like, I remember like when I was younger, like Boy Meets World being one of the first ones to kind of like touch those real life topics, and it still never touched Degrassi. And then, with that network that one program is on, I think that they have gotten so much more conservative over the years. Like you were just saying, there's no more sex scenes on Grey's Anatomy. You look at the sex scenes even on The Rookie or 911, like they're not as sexy as they were on Scandal or How to Get Away with Murder or the way Grey's used to be. And I think that has a lot to do with the current administration and also just conservatism in this country that Canada just doesn't have. And I think that they just let their creatives have a lot more creative freedom than what we have here, which is very sad, but yeah.
I think it's also I do think it's the amount of freedom that Jacob had with the show. But I also like Degrassi, I was on that bad, okay? Noggin, the TV channel, I used to go to my daddy's house just so I could watch it because he had DirecTV. Like I was on it bad after school. And one thing that I really, really liked about Degrassi was one that it did show real life topics, but they really dove into cultural differences as well. Like the things that like a Black student may encounter versus a white student. It also just like, I think a lot of American coming of age things always deal with like, oh, my crush and like I'm going through puberty. Baby, that's at the bottom of my list of life shit that I got going on. Like it don't even scratch the surface, right? And I feel like other like Canadian shows kind of like they dive into a lot more. I think the very first episode was actually Emma's ass on that computer talking to them grown men and didn't realize it. And she went to that hotel. And that's actually what because we grew up in the era of Kick. Ooh, you was talking to all these people. Didn't I know? I was not Club Penguin. I think that came after me. But like
Club Penguin, yeah.
I love Club Penguin.
I missed the Club Penguin, but I heard that that's also like people was like having like real conversations with people, never seen them, and like it just I loved Degrassi because it hit on a lot of deeper topics, but it also those stories were reflective of the character on the show and their cultural background. And I enjoyed that the most. We don't really have that. If we get coming of age in America, just so recently, some of them do a little better, but like, it didn't matter. It was all the same things. And I think that like, I definitely think that it being a Canadian show gave it like free reign to do what it needed to be done.
I agree. I do. Okay. I think I'm gonna try and say this in a way that isn't too rude, but I think is Jacob Tierney American or Canadian? Is he Canadian?
I believe he's Canadian.
I believe he's Canadian.
So do I. Okay. I think
say what you want to say. This ain't a sponsored podcast, so we could you say
right. True. So I think a lot of American showrunners hate their fans. And I say that as they like the idea of fans because fans is what gets them renewed. People watching is what gets them renewed, but they just want views. They don't want fans. There's a difference. They just want someone to watch their show so it gets renewed to the next season so they stay employed. But I will always go back to during the Friends like 20th anniversary special they did on HBO Max. David Crane, one of the writers for the show, specifically said when the show was ending in the final season, him and the other writers knew they owed it to the fans to have Ross and Rachel end up together. Spoiler alert if you don't know that. To have Ross and Rachel end up together. They already had their plans for Joey. Phoebe had Mike, Chandler and Monica had their happy ending. Ross and Rachel were the only ones. They were like, we knew we owed it to the fans to bring them back together. And I cannot remember the last time I heard a showrunner say we owed it to the fans. And I think that's partially due to the fact that fandoms have become so entitled that they start harassing writers. They start, like, I just found out about the Voltron fandom. I don't even know what Voltron is, but apparently they sent the writers of that show cupcakes filled with glass because two of the characters didn't get together. Yeah, that TikTok I posted about fandoms, I'm getting other lore from other fandoms in my comments. But yeah, they sent a writer cupcakes filled with glass. And I think that you have those extremists who are like, we're the fans, you owe us everything. We want this to happen, so this needs to happen because this makes sense. This is my headcanon, make it fucking work. But then on the flip side, you have the fact that, hey, understand that fans are looking at the show through a different lens from you. And we're not seeing all the things you have intended for the character. We're seeing what you're putting in front of us. So if we're seeing, hey, this character, the same way people come to the conclusion, like, oh, it may not be canon, but I see this character as neurodivergent, right? Or even looking at the fucking Backyardigans. We knew which ones were Black watching that show. So, like, there's certain things that fans pick up on that I don't think writers or showrunners think of when they're creating the show. And that's because a lot of them are looking at things through a cis white male lens. So they don't see it as anything, but their audience is not all cis white men. And I think I just always go back to David Crane because him saying that was like such a like gut punch because I'm like, damn, when's the last time a showrunner gave a fuck about what the fans thought? Because they don't. And I think there's a balance because I think fans get a bit too entitled. And I do think the writers have their own goals. They want to do what they want to do, which is fine. But I'm like, you do still owe it to the fans. I mean, look at Game of Thrones. No, that show lost all cultural relevance after the 8th season because the writers wanted to do what the fuck they wanted to do. So here we are. And I think a lot of shows are going to just keep, that's why a lot of shows keep getting canceled. That's why a lot of shows just are fucking boring. And that's why I think everyone's just in this era of like, we have all these streaming services, we might as well have cable, but we still don't have anything to watch. Like, because what everyone's rewatching stuff because nothing new is interesting. Every time you buy into something, you have to risk it getting canceled after one season if it's on Netflix. You have to wait 4 years for the next season if it's on HBO Max or AMC or anything like that. Or it's just fucking boring. And it's on a network television channel. So I'm like, television is so dead right now that Heated Rivalry came in and literally shook the game in America in a way that we have not seen probably since like fucking Glee. Honestly, like completely different genres, but like Glee was so groundbreaking for the time and so different. Heated Rivalry is meeting that same thing that it's just something refreshing for audiences to see. And that's because Jacob Tierney was like, you know what? The fans of the book loved the book because it's the book. I'm not going to take this book and turn it into a completely different story. No, they were fucking in the first 14 pages. We gonna have them fucking in the first episode. Like, stick to the source material.
As we should.
As we should. And that's why I think the show is doing so well. And that's why I think not just that other show we be talking about, but that's why I think most shows are just so uninteresting nowadays. It's repetitive. It's the same shit. Like, god damn, can we get something new? And that's my tangent for that.
And we loved it. And it was amazing.
It was great. It was great. And like it was all facts. Like it was actually all facts.
Yeah, as soon as you asked the question, Tim, I was like, oh, I gotta give a shout out to my guy friends. Because I can't remember the last time I heard a showrunner say that. We owed it to the fans.
when he said that. Like, as a Ross and Rachel hater, I was like, I hate that this is what you had to give to the fans, but I appreciate that you cared enough. Because I know a lot of like people who watch Friends that are like my mama's age, they love Ross and Rachel real bad. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. No, Rachel should have got on that plane to Paris for sure.
Okay. Put your
For
career
sure.
before a man.
Like, but there's a level of appreciation into knowing, into respecting fans. I think that's what it comes down to. And I think that's because a lot of fandoms are run really by like the queer community and women and the mix of the two. So I think whenever you have that audience as the main audience, it's automatically going to be dismissed, especially if it's an audience that the showrunners were not intending to get. Grey's Anatomy, it was written by women and it's for women. That's the target audience. But shows like, fuck it, 911, that show, when they wrote it, it was not, they were not expecting the age demographic they have to be as hardcore about the show as they are. Like, even without the buddy of it all, like, these people are fans of the show because the show was good. The first like 7 seasons, 6. Yeah, 6 seasons. Maybe 5, but like
I was gonna say 6 pushing it. But,
right.
okay.
Five and a half.
I think the only other show I can think of that probably respected its fandom from what I've seen, because I did join the fandom late, is probably Supernatural. Because I know for a fact when Eric Kripke was writing that show, he was not thinking, I'm going to get a bunch of women who are fans of the show. And despite that, the cast loves their fans. From what I've seen, like just online, what people have told me, like they love their fans. Yeah, there's some messiness going on, but like they do love their fans truly, and they appreciate their fans. And that's just for it to have such an unexpected large female fan base. I wouldn't have expected that, especially given the premise of the show. Like, there's no romance in there. It's just trauma, but they managed to do it. So I just think that's a lost art in Hollywood right now.
I can't think of a TV show other than Heated Rivalry that loves their fan base. Is that sad?
Very, actually.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. I mean, maybe Pretty Little Liars, but like that relationship went south towards the end there.
It did.
Because the fandom started acting up. I mean, they was sending death threats to them people over that final episode, which it was the worst episode of television I've probably ever seen. But them people didn't deserve to have their lives threatened.
Yeah. That's when they be taking it too far. Fandoms, they be getting crazy.
Okay.
I have another question, and then I promise to the listeners and watchers we will get back to episodes 1 and 2 of Heated Rivalry. But 2 questions actually. Alex, you said something about the target audience. Who do you think was the target audience for this show, and do you feel like they were reached? And then the second question is, Tress, you made a video about how diverse the fandom is. Why do you feel like it attracted so many different types of people, especially, again, scarred by some of those other fandoms and some of the people that we see circulating in that space? Like, one of the reasons actually that we even found each other was because there are so few of us in that space. But I'm curious, like, I agree, Tress. Like, I see a ton of different people, like, talking about making content about Heated Rivalry, even though the show basically kind of centers on 2 white boys. I mean, Shane's Asian. But, like, it's demographically, like, it looks like it would attract a certain type of person to it, but clearly it has done the opposite and has reached all corners of the internet. So why do you think that is?
I think that this show is just so unique in so many ways. I think just the welcoming atmosphere of the community, it's a lot different than most of the current fandom spaces. I think people are just very open and kind, at least on TikTok. On Twitter, it's a different story. But I think it felt like a welcoming fandom space in a way that like I just have not felt anytime recently. So I think that was one of the things. And then also just the subject matter, as we've been saying, like media has gotten so conservative recently. And I think that this show has just been a breath of fresh air to anybody that's like disturbed by the trend of conservative media that we've been seeing recently. And, I've seen a lot of people just in my own personal life that like they don't even like read a book like ever, and they're like, oh, okay, like let me tap into this, even though it's based on romance. Or I have like a lot of friends that only watch reality TV, like they do not watch scripted television at all, and they were like, oh, let me tap into that, and just seeing, if you go on TikTok and you see us talking about it and you see other folks talking about it, or in my video I was saying, for a lot of the fandoms I'm in, I only see edits to Taylor Swift, which I don't mind, but like seeing edits to Lauryn Hill and to Tevin Campbell, I was like, whoa, like even that alone would get somebody's attention. So I think
y'all in here. I see my people. I hear you.
I see my people. I hear my people, because I know that, I'm sorry, I know non-Black folks not listening to Can We Talk like that. So I was like, I know who you are and I love this. Like, it's just such a welcoming community.
Yeah.
And we're also here because Alex has made like 59,000 videos of Heated Rivalry. Like, she is the fandom.
Carrying the fandom on her back.
Carrying it on her back. So, people are seeing us, you know what I mean? And like, even with the other program, like when people saw us, they were like, wait, Black folks is watching that show, you know what I'm saying? So I think just having creators such as ourselves that are openly talking about this, it's also just helping to attract a more diverse audience, which I think is awesome. And part of the reason why I wanted to start making content in the first place, because as I also said in that video, I've always been told that like being in fandom and being a fangirl is a white thing, but like it's not. It's for everybody who loves media. So I'm glad to see that we're all here together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, truly. Like, I think that's part of the reason why, like, when it comes to Black people in fandom spaces, really in any space, there's no such thing as like oversaturation when it comes to our opinion on things, but especially like in fandom, any fandom. Like go back to Game of Thrones. Like on Game of Thrones Sundays, we had hashtag Dem Thrones, because that's where all the Black fans were tweeting. Like, and similar to like House of Dragons and things like that. So I think I think part of the diversity, I think that probably was not the intended target audience. I think, because being real, that men don't read like that. So they was never the target audience. I think gay men and like other queer men were bound to hear about the show and gain interest in the show. But I think when Jacob was creating the show, he was thinking of the original fans of the books, because that's what made it popular. It was the women who were reading it. And of course, obviously it was not 100% just women. And when I say women, it's important to stress that it was not just straight women reading these books either. Like, it all demographics of women. But I think the diversity that came along the way, there's what, 2 Black people in the show? 3?
Yeah.
In this day and age, it is very rare for me to start a new show, and I don't see a lot of Black people. Because there ain't no reason for there to not be a lot of Black people on my TV. Like, if we're rewatching something, all right, but a new show? But they managed to fit in so many different people of color. And granted, I didn't read the first book, but like Elena, I was about to call her by the actress's name, Svetlana, JJ,
Maria.
Yes, like there's and the guy who's friends with Kim.
Oh, the boy, Sean,
Yeah,
I think his name is.
I cannot think of his name, but they managed to add in some I don't know if they're those if that's how they are in the books, but I do think the audience that they gained is a lot larger than they ever thought. I don't think they ever predicted, like even in their wildest dreams, I don't think they ever predicted the show to be as massive as it is. Like, I think even just the size of the audience of the people they were targeting, I don't even think they expected it to be that large. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, at the second Black people catch wind of something, it's gonna pop off. Sorry, it never fails. It never fails. We are like the curators of culture in this country. And obviously, with something that does not depict a lot of Black people, because I see a lot of arguments, or not arguments, more just like good points of people saying like, when are we going to get like the Black equivalent of this? And clearly we need one. I'm all for it. But I think despite it being a majority white cast, they still managed to bring in like practically every demographic of people, which I think is beautiful. Again, I think the last time we were this united was Glee. Like, truly, I think that was the last time. Yeah.
I have a question about that though. What about the show do you think has made it reach so many different backgrounds of like, because I know that it was never the intention, and we all know like who actually when it comes to romance novels, who the biggest audience is for those books. So I'm curious to know like what y'all think why this show ended up not necessarily going as big as it is, but going as big in our community and others.
Honestly, I think just because it's new. I think if there wasn't as much sex in the show, it would not have, it probably would have been popular, but the sex is what's selling it for a lot of people. Like that, I think the people who aren't big readers, the sex is what's selling it for them. Like, and then they just happen to like the story as well. So that's like icing on the cake. Oh, the sex scenes are good, but wait, this is actually a really good story. Like, what do you mean they're two hockey players who can't be together? What do you mean they didn't even kiss? What do you mean like blah, 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 blah. So I really think it's the sex that sold them, that brought them in, and I think the storyline got them to stay.
I think there's a small group which I would have been in this category. Thankfully, I wasn't. But as someone who experiences this deeply, spiritually, FOMO, I would be sick. I would be sick if I saw and heard everybody around me talking. Tress, you were a little late to the party, but you still.
That was me. I was jealous when y'all were talking about it online. I was like, I'm reading this whole book in a day because y'all not gonna play with me.
I think that's a part of it. The like people wanting to, even if you aren't like wanting to be a part of the conversation, like you at least want to know what everybody's talking about. What is Heated Rivalry? Why is everybody talking about going to the cottage after Christmas? Like, yeah, spoiler if you ain't seen that far ahead. Sorry, we said they would come up.
What you doing? Actually,
right. We said they would come up, but I think there was definitely an aspect of FOMO there. Like, there were just so many people like talking about, and I was seeing people talking about it who ain't never talked about a TV show on their page ever. Like, their content is completely something else, but this show had them hooked enough that they were like, we're gonna put that shit to the side and we're gonna talk about this hockey show, you know? So I think there was an aspect of, you know, I want to know what is going on. I don't want to be left out of this thing. And then I think, like Alex said, they got on board. They actually started to like it. You know, maybe the sex got them hooked, but the story kept them there. But I think they didn't want to miss out because, again, I would have been sick had everybody around me been talking about it. I had no idea.
For sure. Yeah. I think when things get really like massive like that really quickly, because it really did just blow up. Like those first 2 episodes dropped, everyone was talking about it. Like it took 2 episodes for it to take over, but really it only took the first like 15 minutes of the first episode for everyone to be like, oh, I found my new personality for the next like 2 years of my life. Like, so I think the FOMO thing, because honestly, the amount of shows I've tried watching just because I hear everyone talking about it, I mean, word of mouth is the best marketing. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's the only reason I ever turned on Stranger Things, because I was like, what's going on with this little boy who was kidnapped and got Christmas lights? It's not for me, but I did turn it on because everyone was talking about it. So, I totally agree with that. And then I think the acting, people saw the tension and the chemistry between the 2 actors and those first few minutes, and they were like, what? I've never seen no chemistry like this.
Who was it? Was it hot, boy?
Ooh. They're crazy. And I think one of the things that got me was like, obviously, y'all, like, I respect y'all's opinion. So when y'all were talking so highly, I was like, duh. And then also, too, I don't go to Stranger Things. I think I saw 5 minutes of the first episode. But the fact that, like, I've barely heard any conversation about that show because of how much people are talking about Heated Rivalry. Like, when for years I was like, damn, do I need to watch Stranger Things? Like, that's when I knew this was huge. Because I was like, didn't this just came out too? And nobody was speaking on it. Like everybody was, you know, Hollanov, Shayna, Ilya, Heated Rivalry. So I was like, oh, that's the real deal.
Right. I also heard the new season of Stranger Things sucks. So,
Oh, they so bad.
yeah,
The boys.
I have not heard anything good about. And this is from like people who are fans of the show. I'm here like they're comparing it to season 8 of Game of Thrones, and for that I feel so bad. This is why shows don't need to take that long.
I mean, aren't the actors like 40 still playing middle
Yeah.
schoolers, high schoolers, something?
Millie Bobby
that
Brown
one girl has a
kid.
mama, or she is a mama now.
Yeah, I'm like they have 401ks. What are they? What are we doing? Like
that's that brings it's not necessarily a question, but a point, I guess. Shows taking that long to come back. I don't care if your show is at the like height of its peak, whatever, or the lowest. Like, I think that at any point, if you're going that many years without giving like the audience something, it's going to hurt it. And that brings me to my point of heated rivalry, because I say that, but honestly, I don't think that this little year that we finna have between the next season, I don't think that's gonna put a dent in nothing. I think the people gonna be locked in when that shit roll around again. Like, I don't know. Even though I do feel like the attention that this got, Stranger Things did like pop too. Like, everybody wanted to go to the Upside Down. Everybody was in Hawkins. Everybody was on that real bad. But I don't know. I feel differently about Heated Rivalry. I just don't think that like the year. I think we're gonna be chomping at the bits. You know, I think that we.
Oh yes.
I think that
we're gonna be waiting on them at the door.
Yeah,
waiting on them at the door. I think that like. I also think that AO3 is gonna play a big part of that. Like, they're gonna keep us fed. We're gonna be like, actually, it was also crazy. And sorry, my ADHD going to one point to another. Also crazy is the fact that like we know what the fuck happens, and still just eating that shit up. It's based on the book. We know what happens. We know they get together. We know that like, but like still eating that shit up. That's what I think I love the most. That like we still are just waiting for the next episode, even though we know exactly what happens.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, honestly.
I'm still not ready. I feel like, and I think a lot of that is because of the trust that we have in Jacob Tierney. Because even though, you know, if you read the books, you know exactly what's going to happen, you know what to expect, it's still just as surprising when I see it on screen. Like, and it's always the subtle changes, you know, that Jacob makes. Again, we trust him implicitly, completely, right? Like those like little subtle nuances that he makes in the wording, or like move your hand here or look this way. Like, I love those little things, and I think as somebody who read the books, I find myself looking forward to those moments. You know, like I'm excited to see the book unfold, but I'm also excited to see what he as the director like will do with those scenes.
Yeah, I also think because Heated Rivalry is actually good enough to take a year to create the next season, I'm okay with waiting that long. Like, I'm sorry. Like, shows like Euphoria, it shouldn't have taken that long for the next
not funny. Euphoria not funny at all.
Like, and I think, I mean, granted, I'm sure Euphoria also had other struggles because one of the actors passed away, but that show had no plans of coming back anytime soon when season 2 ended. What other shows? House of Dragons. I'm sorry, it's not good enough to take that long for the next season. And it's a good show, but it's not good enough for 8 seasons to take damn near 3 years. I haven't even tried watching the next season of The Last of Us because I'm like, what? It's going to take 10 years to finish the show and it'll be 5 seasons? What's the point?
I want you to know how much like what I'm about to say just proved your point. I fucking forgot about House of Dragons. I'm not even finna lie to you. And I love that shit when it was coming out.
Right.
I forgot about that shit.
I was lost in the House of Dragons. It was so good.
Like,
I don't remember.
It was on that bad.
Yeah.
I don't remember a single thing that happened. I remember.
That's also because the season finale was so anticlimactic. It was so anticlimactic.
The season finale tried to fit. It felt like a trailer for season 3. Which I'm like, that's not what a season finale is supposed to be. That's what a trailer is, not the season finale. But I think this, and I truly don't know who this new format of television benefits, because we saw from the SAG strike, actors don't like it. These 8 episodes take 3 years to make 8 episodes. Writers don't like it. Fans don't like it. So who the fuck likes it? Truly, truly. I'm genuinely curious. And I'm like, it can't be, the studios can't be making more money in this format. I'm sure they're probably saving some money because it's less days of filming, like possibly. But I'm like, the longevity, the return on investment can't outweigh it, because you look at like any sort of network television show, but you can't tell a story in 6 episodes. The only show I can do is Interview with the Vampire.
I knew that's what you were about to say.
Only show. And let me tell you, before I watched that show, I would have said, it's going to be some shit left out. It's not going to be that. Interview with the Vampire seasons 1 and 2 told a phenomenal fucking story in both seasons. Like, so incredibly well done that I'm like, okay, it's worth actually waiting a year and some change for the next season, because the writing is phenomenal. They give us enough character development. Like, it is solid television. And I think Heated Rivalry is right up there. And what do you know? Both of those pull from books for source material. So I don't know. Perhaps, granted, I know Interview with the Vampire changed a lot of the story from like Anne Rice's original format, but this new format of television, though, I'm like, I don't remember what the fuck happened. I don't. And the show wasn't good enough for me to want to rewatch season 1 before season 2 comes out. So I just won't watch it. I haven't watched The Last of Us. I don't remember what the fuck happened in Succession. Haven't watched the final season. I'm giving HBO Max a lot of lashings right now, but they're just the only one I can think of who has this format. But Netflix does it too. But I just don't watch any Netflix originals for that very reason.
Right.
Just never fails.
I think we talked about this before, Tim. Like, the 8 episode format it's fucking terrible. And I think the biggest thing for me, as somebody who loves characters, deep dives on characters, like I love tearing apart a character, and I think that's also because like I do write fanfic, like, and then I also like write my own stories or whatever. So like breaking down a character to know like, oh, how they tick, like the things that they love, they don't. I hate when a show lacks character development. I hate when you don't give people enough to hang on to. I hate when like shows don't develop a character enough for them to matter. Cause like if I grow an attachment to this character because you've developed them enough, I want to lock onto the story. Like I want to see what happens. Like I'll come back after that year. I'm hooked. I'll come back after that year for them. I hate when like, or we've adopted this 8 to 10 episodes, because it doesn't give enough, because y'all trying to tell too much of a story. You want this to happen, that to happen, like you're looking for the climax of it, and then like wrapping the story up and yada yada yada, that you don't have enough time to focus on the characters and like developing them how they need to be to even make sense to the plot too, in my case. And then like that annoys me real bad, that like you don't even develop your characters enough to make the fucking plot make sense or to make the end make sense. What are we here for?
Yeah. What are we here for? Why am I here? Why am I watching this fuck ass program if you can't even make it make sense?
Like,
I can't even talk about this because I'm gonna get irritated.
Because it pisses you off so much, because the show will start off so strong. Yes. Will start off so, whether it's the first season, first couple seasons, and then it just tanks. And it's like, you ruined my show. Like, it feels truly like a personal attack, because why the fuck would you ruin? What did I do to you? Why would you ruin my show? Like, this is what I look forward to every week. This was the one, and especially given like the social and political climate we're in, the things people have to disassociate, don't mess with that shit. That's the only thing truly keeping a lot of people going. Like, and in the least dramatic way possible. This is why I've said so many times, people, I'm like, don't kill yourself. Heated Rivalry season 2 comes out in 2027.
And
like,
you want to be here for that. You don't want to miss that.
To live for. There are so many things to live for.
Stay alive.
Right. Like, you have to live at least to see season 2, friend. Like, you got to keep pushing.
And
but
they signed on for 3, so.
Right. So it's like, you have, like, But I'm like, when you ruin someone's show, it literally just feels like a personal attack. Like, because fans get pissed off. It's like, I told people to watch this shit. And now you
they're
got
looking at me crazy.
right,
Yes.
looking at me crazy, having people text me being like, are they in space, bitch? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Sorry.
It will never fail to set me off. Like, and that's why
God.
I think Jacob Tierney, so many people have so much trust in him, because I think part of the reason is six to 8 episodes is not enough to tell a story most times, but I think it is if you're a good writer.
Right.
If you're good at your job.
That up.
I'm sorry, like, and that's not to say if you can't do it, you're a failure. It just means you shouldn't do it. And Jacob Tierney, he did it and he can do it. He's proven that he could do it. So if they extend the season to say 8 or 10 episodes, we know we're going to fucking eat, because he managed to do it in 6, right? Interview with the Vampire. I don't even know who's the director of that show, but we know if they gave him 12 episodes, we would be eating good, because look what they did in 8.
Yeah.
The other shows, y'all not doing it like that. You need 12 episodes. You need it, and that's okay. That's okay. People have their ranges. But I'm like, whether it's the writing style, whether it's what the studios approve, whatever the case may be, is not a solid enough foundation for you to only give us 6 episodes. It's not. And I don't know whose shortcoming that is, if it even is a shortcoming, but you need to acknowledge that shit and adjust, because these 6 episodes is ruining television.
We've lost the art of filler episodes. And those are some of my favorites.
We're at a Halloween episode.
A Christmas episode, a Halloween episode,
A
random side quest episode where they're doing something completely unrelated, right?
You need bottle episodes.
Right. Like, I feel like we have lost the art of filler episodes, and it's just been downhill ever since.
Facts.
It has. And I think, part of the reason why they got rid of these filler episodes is because some people was taking advantage of them. I'm looking at you, Pretty Little Liars, where 80% of the show was filler. But you still need a couple of them.
We still need a little plot, babes.
You still need to fill it up just a little bit. Like,
nobody wants to work anymore.
It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Nobody wants to work.
I want to come in because I do want us to actually talk about episode 1.
Right. Right.
We'll make it clear in the description.
Right.
We did say that we be yapping.
Right.
You've been on our lives.
Guilty.
We be.
That's how we be on live for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
Oh shit, y'all.
Work shift.
Oh shit. It's insane.
Yeah.
Legally
You have a specific question about episode 1?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So obviously, we love this show. Obviously, there are a lot of things that the show also has done differently than other shows. In particular, in the first 2 episodes, we passed through a lot of time. Okay? And there was a lot of discourse online about how the show chose to go through the time. And the timeline was confusing for a lot of people. People were trying to figure it out, yada, yada, yada. My question to y'all, because it seems like the way in which they chose to pass through all those years worked. Mm-hmm. None of us cut it off. None of us was like, actually, y'all skipping through a lot, babes. I'm jumping off. Shit. So I want to know what in particular for y'all, what made how they jump through the time work. Because I have a sense or a feeling that if another show had did it, we would have been like, actually, you're running the fuck out. So I'm curious to know why did the way in which they chose to run through time work? Because y'all also have read the books and you know that it's the way in which they do it in the books as well. But a lot of people didn't come into the show with that. So I'm curious to know, actually, y'all read the book afterwards. So
yeah,
I'm curious to know what about it worked for.
I'll go first because mine will be quick. Two very quick reasons. I trust Jacob Tierney with my life.
Amen.
And so even early on, I knew you know what the fuck you're doing. And I can trust you with this. The second was, I think that they made really good use of the time that they had. So even though we were flying through the years, I feel like at every point, like they used it to its full potential. You know, they made really good use of the time periods that we saw.
Yeah. Um, Ooh, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really give a fuck about the time. Like I really didn't pay no type of attention. I don't know. I've just and that's not just because it's Heated Rivalry, but like any movie, TV show, and there's time. Like I just rewatched Vampire Diaries. They was skipping back and forth between 3 years now, 4 years ago. I'm like, the fuck is going on? But I don't care. Like the time zones, like I think also because the way the time zones were done, you're still seeing glimpses of what's happening throughout the time. So I think if it would have just been like, oh, the scenes in the shower in the locker room, and then it cuts to black, we're in 2010, next scene, cut to black. Like, I think if it had been told that way, that would have turned me off a bit. But like Tim said, I think it only took, like, again, those first 13 minutes sold me. Like, I knew then and there we have just like I feel Jesus watching this. Like this is like
Not the Lord.
what it means to say I feel Jesus in this Chili's right now. Like that's how I felt watching that episode for the first time. So I think I just had such an implicit trust in what was going to be shown to me with just from those first few minutes that it didn't even affect me. Also, I think the use of music played a heavy part because like I can't remember the song during the first episode's time skip, but like episode 4 when it's like my moon,
Man.
my man,
It's my moon, my man.
I love that song.
That shit goes hard. I be singing along. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what year we in. I don't know how much time has passed. But yeah, I think Tim, pretty much what you said. Like he gained the audience's trust so quickly that it wasn't even a factor. Like it didn't even cross my mind over. I still don't know what year they in now. Like
I have no idea.
Don't care.
Yeah.
It don't.
I will add to that trust piece. He gained our trust early on and he never lost it.
Never.
Never.
I just made a video, and honestly, by the time this gets posted, it will be out. But I did like a marketing analysis of why Heated Rivalry like performed and worked the way that it did. And the third point is that not at any point did we feel baited. Not at any point did we feel like, oh, we're heading in this direction. You know, are we? Are they? Aren't they? Will they? Won't they? Like, I feel like he earned our trust early on, and not at a single point did he ever break that trust or make us feel like deceived or oh, we thought this. You know, like I feel like he earned it and he like kept it all the way through.
Go for the gotcha moment.
Right.
Yeah. And I hated will they, won't they? They did. They will again. They will continue. Like
quickly. Let's get to the
point.
Quickly.
It didn't take 9 seasons and counting.
And they still won't. Okay?
They still ain't. And they still won't. So
I feel like when it comes to that show, I think most fans they're just in it for the love of the game at this point. They're just watching the show so they know what's canon when they write their fics. Yeah. And I can respect that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can too. I wanted to mention, because you did say the use of music, because one of my favorite things in the show were the time montages. I'm not gonna lie. They ate down with them. They picked a creative way to like skip through time. And like to the point, like even if you cared about the timeline, like you could follow along if you wanted to. But if you didn't give a fuck, it really didn't mess with the story at all. I'm sorry, you, Alex, the My Moon, My Man, that's in my library now. That shit ate down so bad. I be putting it on the playlist at work. I be like, actually, no, we need to hear this. Y'all need to hear this song.
That's right up there with what's that one from Twilight that you love so much?
There's possibility. That's my shit. All that out.
Oh my god.
I think not only just the music, but the fashion too. Like, I just have an eye for like 2010s fashion. I don't know why. And in the 6th episode, I know we're talking about 1 and 2, like Shane was wearing Sperry's, and I was like, oh, this is some 2014 stuff right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just the things they be wearing, I'm like,
that.
that's 2008, that's 2012. Like,
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the people that's another thing with like them really caring about this show. Cause like in episode 1 and 2, they do look young compared to where we end up in the 6th. They actually look young. That conversation with Shane and his mom, he looked young. When Ilya tells him, they told me nothing. It was my idea.
Yeah.
He looks young as hell. Shane on that bench, during our All-Star game, oh, he's so pretty in that little gif. But he looks young as hell. Like, they did such a good job, like, making them look younger. And then, like, they just, the people on this show, from everybody, just genuinely gave a fuck.
I think that's another reason why, even though I didn't pay attention to the timeline, I still felt it because they physically looked young. Like, the only thing that threw me for a loop was that I forgot the time we were in was when the dad asked what YouTube is.
Oh, yeah.
What? Like, I was genuinely, I was like, is this a joke that fell flat? And then Tay, you reminded me, you were like, well, no, this is like 2009. I was like, oh, forgot about that. And once I remembered that, I was like, right. But I think they use so many small things to show the timeline, not just putting it on the screen, not just putting the year in our face. There were little things, the conversation about YouTube, explaining what a rabbit hole was, their clothing, the types of headphones they wore. Like, but one thing I'm glad that they kept fairly modern, or at least the music always felt modern. Like, it wasn't, the music didn't feel dated. I don't know when half those songs came out, but it all felt modern, just new to me.
Yeah. Speaking of like simple or subtle things that they used in the show, I missed it on that first watch, but the second watch with him talking about Shane talking about the rabbit hole that he fell down, and it was like unlikely friends or unlikely. I said, oh.
Yeah, a snake.
Oh, unlikely, you say? Y'all real unlikely. Not gonna lie. Like you're talking about you and your man. Love that. But I think that's something else that I really enjoyed in the show. That like the really subtle things that, or like the symbolism. Like it's all throughout the show, from like some of the clothes that they wear, like the positions that they're in particular, because I think Jacob did say that Shane and Ilya do have like dom and sub undertones in their relationship. There are a lot of scenes in the first 2 episodes where Shane is sitting a lot and Ilya is standing over him. And I was like, oh, that was intentional. Like, that was actually intentional. Were there any other ones that like y'all noticed that like stood out to y'all that y'all really, really enjoyed in the first 2 episodes?
The one that immediately came to mind was the stairwell.
Yeah.
And specifically, the very one, I love the like running up the stairwell together.
Yes.
Because it's such a small thing, but it was like they're so fun. Like they're still just like boys.
Because they're young too.
Right. I was like, that was a very like intimate thing to include, which is one of the things I love the most, is like the subtle nuances of intimacy in the show and like how they were able to portray that. And it, like, again, slight spoiler, but it paralleled with the stairwell scene with Rose and how he was like freely running up the stairs with Ilya, and like with Rose it was like he was going up to be executed, you know. But I love the stairwell scene, and specifically the part about your cab is definitely here, and that moment where he's like clearly saying like, okay, it's time for you to go, but at the same time he is gripping that sweatshirt for dear life. Like, I don't want you to leave me, but you know, like my mouth is saying, okay, I know it's time for you to go, but like my body is saying, I don't want you to leave. And I think that is one of the most intimate scene. Actually, I feel like I heard, this might be a lie, but I feel like I heard that like with that scene specifically, the intimacy coordinator asked Jacob, like, oh, like, do you want to keep this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this felt like way too intimate, like too soft or whatever.
That's what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah. And he was like, yeah, I don't care. And I love you for it, Jacob. Again,
Yes.
We love
trust
you,
you
Jay.
implicitly. Trust you implicitly, because you know what the fuck you're doing.
Look at him. Like,
Oh,
he's
look
so
at
fucking in
him.
love. Like, that's
Look
crazy.
at Ilya. He looks in love
The
too.
way I didn't even fucking realize that that's the scene behind you.
Yes, like, it's one of my favorites. Like, I love that scene down because it's a lot that's happening in that scene that like it's so many scenes. Let me stop. Like it's
I
just
love him.
show, but like I also he's just sitting here and he's wanting to connect with Ilya. Obviously, he got his world rocked, right? He's like
Look through the
real
mattress.
through the mattress, okay? Because y'all, when he came in, had a mean ass attitude, okay?
Yeah.
At the first started with it. This is where we ended up, okay? But this entire time, like, because you know, in the books, Ilya fell first, and but like in the show, it's kind of portrayed in a way that like seems like Shane fell first. And this is one of the scenes that I feel like amplifies that because after they are finished upstairs and like he does the forehead kiss, he does a forehead kiss, and Ilya, you can see like it on Ilya's face. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I gotta run."
Got a blast.
So we get down here, and Shane is still like trying to get a connection with him. Oh, your parents must be happy that the Olympics are in Russia. Like, are they gonna come there for you? Like, baby was trying to get some responses out of him.
And Ilya was not in the space to reciprocate that. Like, because mind you, Ilya, for real, just snatched that man's virginity. Like, and mind you, Shane threw it at him. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't hard for Ilya to do. But I think that also plays a big part into it. Like these two, I guess this is a spoiler. I don't know. But these two are really each other's first and only loves. Yeah. And you feel that. Like you feel it every step of the way. Cause like even like you feel, I think that's part of the reason why I loved the show, like just from those first two episodes, is that the situationship dynamic is so specific to like the people who are like, I would say 20 somethings, maybe like 30 somethings, but especially 20 somethings. Like 20 somethings have all been in a situationship at some point in time. And to the viewers, if you haven't, I got some news for you. It's coming for you, mamas. Like that's the situation that's gonna hit you. It is. And I think this was such a clear, like it was almost like getting flashbacks almost of like the situationship dynamics where it's like that, okay, well, is this just a hookup? Is this just physical? Does he like me? Do I like him? Like there is a dynamic there that I was like, I have not seen this in television for this age group in a way that doesn't feel like, are we getting married or not? You know what I mean? Like when we get past like like Grey's Anatomy, all them people, they're at the let's get married age. Like they're at the we need to prepare to handle our mortgage, right? That's the types of love stories they get. And then you have high schoolers who are dealing with high school love stories. There's not really anything for like that, I'll say like 21 to probably like 35 like age range. Like I don't really see it too often. And I think this was just a good depiction of that sort of, because it's not even we're dating, we're just not a couple yet. No, they're in a situationship, like to a T. And there's reasons why they have to be in a situationship, but it's not like they were secretly dating and then, whatever, then ended up together. No, they are just fucking right now. Like it is just physical. And it was so, like, I don't know. I loved seeing that dynamic on screen because I'm like, I can't think maybe like Shameless with Mickey and Ian. We saw that before they actually became a couple. But there's not too many examples.
Love me some Galovich too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, my babies.
Love them down. My toxic kings. But
oh, my babies.
were in fact toxic.
I love the edits because people are pointing out the "Don't Marry Svetlana" parallel, and I'm like, I'm loving the edits. I'm loving eating it up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Eating it up.
Oh, but I hated Svetlana and Shameless. Like, I didn't hate her, but she no, I actually did hate her. When she got in between Kevin V, that's when I was like, this girl gotta go.
She gotta get.
The Mickey and Ian thing, I was like, I can understand the dynamics that's going on here, but the Kevin V thing, I was like, you need to get away from my favorite swirl of all time. Get away from them. Like, I don't play about them, but yeah, I do love the parallels with that though. If I had a nickel for every time two men couldn't be in love because of a woman named Svetlana.
2 nickels.
Right, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice.
Any other thoughts about? I feel like we didn't give a lot of thoughts about episode 1 and 2, but clearly, if you couldn't tell, we love this fucking show and highly recommend. And if you're here, you probably also have seen Heated Rivalry, so you saw episodes 1 and 2. But we absolutely loved it. Any additional thoughts about Heated Rivalry episodes 1 and 2 before we move to our next segment?
There is one thing I noticed when I rewatched it yesterday. In the conversation where Shane was with his parents and they were talking about the YouTube rabbit hole, Yuna made a comment about how he needs to be watching like hockey videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was just such a small little comment that I missed all the other times I watched it. But after watching episode 6, which I won't give a spoiler for, but it really shows how much pressure Shane puts himself under and how much pressure his mom put him under unintentionally. Like, I don't even think, but I think a lot of people can relate to any sort of situation where their parents are constantly bringing up something that you're already hyper aware of. You don't need to remind me. I already know. And they're doing it out of goodwill. They're not trying to be an asshole about it. Just like, oh, you should be watching hockey videos because you may learn this, this, and this. It's like, actually, I want to breathe. I want to think about something else, Perhaps let's try that. So I think that was because even Shane's reaction to it was like, yeah, like he just kind of nodded. But I when I caught that, I was like, yeah.
Do you think it was cultural? Because he is half Asian, and that is like a common thing in Asian families that like you don't disappoint your family, least of all your parents, right? This sounds so familiar. I said this before in a video. I can't remember if I posted it or not, but like that is a thing that like they don't go to it often. I think it was maybe mentioned one time that he was Asian like early on, but I wonder if that was like a subtle cultural nod to some of the pressure that comes from Asian families.
Yeah, I definitely plays a part. I also think I think there's a lot of cultural differences that come into play at the show between Ilya and Shane. But like I would say like just from Shane's side, him being Asian, that pressure to be perfect for his family. But then also Ilya has that same pressure having to be perfect, but it's just coming from different reasons. Like, no spoilers, Ilya's father's doing it because he's a piece of shit, whereas Yuna's doing it because she truly just wants the best for her son. Right. But that doesn't change the impact that it has on each of them. And it still has a negative impact because that's still a lot of pressure to put on a kid, and they're kids essentially here anyway.
Yeah.
Oh. Any other thoughts about Heated Rivalry episodes 1 and 2?
I'm sure there are, but
that's okay.
We can talk all day, but like it was good. Like I don't know, it's not much else to say. Like I think, like when I watched them, I was immediately hooked from the very beginning. And there are a lot of things that I've gone back and like realized after rewatching, and I think that's what I also enjoy. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, on every rewatch, there's something else that I didn't catch before. Okay, it's just like they put so much into the show that like, how can you not think it's great? Like you can consume it normally, whatever. That's why. Like I don't know how, but like
None of us do.
About that, but okay.
you can consume it normally.
I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
Like fine, whatever. But like I just think that like you cannot watch this show and say that like they did not put their all into it, that they did not create a great show. And I think that's another reason why I'm obsessed with it. Like you can critique it. I actually love for people to critique it. Because like they might say things or whatever. I like to have the conversation. They might say things that I didn't think of. I had a coworker that gave her like actual thoughts on it, and I said, actually, I could get behind that. I could understand that. I could see it. However, other people, take it wrong with it. Anyways, I do think that like it's just had such an impact because you also know that the people that worked on it genuinely cared about it. And you saw it in the first 2 episodes that they chose to, in fact, drop. Something else that I did want to mention, we got to talk about the bathroom scene right quick. Can we talk about that right quick?
I don't even think my heart can handle it, but I guess.
Like, there's no way that we cannot talk about that scene. Y'all, that scene, I go back the most watched scene when we had them episodes for me. And for y'all that want to talk about the sex scenes, that wasn't even the most watched for me. And I consume AO3 and like all type of media. That's not my most watched. It's that bathroom scene. It's a bathroom scene because there are so many things that like happen in it that like I loved it. So for one, Ilya coming in, thought he was gonna play with Shane, thought he was gonna laugh, giggle. As soon as he saw that baby was on the verge of tears, wiped the smile straight off his face. He said, "Oh, okay. Actually, let me get my shit together. Let me get my shit together." He locked in, and then like
boyfriend of him.
It was very boyfriend of him.
Like a situationship would have been like, "The fuck you tripping for?"
Right.
Like exactly what you crying for. Don't like. Ew, triggered. What you crying for? Don't piss me off. Like, you know what? But moving on for I say something and I name names in here. But like once he locked in though, and like the conversation from there, Shane yelling at him like, "What do you want from me?" And then Ilya's response still pissed me off because I still feel like you was playing and you were trying to run from your feelings, get it, whatever. But like the the end of that with the New Yorker, that's the one. Because he also mentions it back in episode 6. Yeah. You held on to that for 10 years. You still knew that that man's daddy read the New Yorker. Like, I want y'all are so sick. But I just love that scene so much. I can't not talk about it. I think that Hudson's acting in it was phenomenal. Like you could see on his face, like he loved that man down. And also, I think my one point about that whole scene was looking at it from Hudson's point of view. I feel like it was such a bittersweet moment for him. I think I said this in a video recently, may or may not. But in the moment that he's listening to Ilya talk and like he sees that like, or you can tell on his face that he's in love with that man, it's bittersweet for him because while he's probably happy that Ilya has gotten better at his English, he's also realizing that, it's been months since I've heard you talk to me. It's been months since, it's like, when I realized that, like, it's been months since you talked to me, so you're out here and your English getting better, and I didn't even get to witness that. Oh, I said, you know what? That's enough for today. That's enough for today.
I need a minute after that.
That hurt my feelings because I was just like, like he's not just recognizing that his English is getting better. He's also recognizing that I've not been around you, heard you, to know that it even got better until this moment.
That hurts my feelings.
That hurts my feelings bad. I said, oh, my Shayla, get behind me. Like, there's so much to say about that scene because like I run it back a lot.
And I've talked about that scene in 17 TikTok videos. Like in depth.
And she's not
like,
lying.
For it.
Real.
And she's not lying.
Like at least 6 to 8 of those videos was like in-depth breakdowns of that scene, like from Ilya's perspective, Shane's perspective, and what it means from like the Hollanov as a couple perspective. Yeah. I love that scene so much. I think it showed so much. It revealed so much about their relationship in such a short amount of time. Like it revealed so much, but like the shift from, and I think when you look at that conversation, kind of a spoiler, but episode 6, the conversation about Svetlana, the way like you see Ilya learn to read Shane, starting in that moment, and then you see it where he's at in episode 6, and I think it's just it's the storytelling of it all. Oh, y'all have heard me say I want to inject that show into my veins, but that scene specifically, I want to take it, grind it up, chop it up, and then snort it. Oh, that scene is so good. It's so good. It's so good. Like that is one of my favorite moments in the whole show, without a doubt. Like
you saying that though, because one of the videos that I have that's gonna roll out is about like how affectionate Ilya is in episode 6, but not even like affectionate, but like how he knows exactly like what Shane needs when Shane is like having a moment or like spiraling or doing these other things. And like you saying like that's the moment in which it started, like you do see like episode by episode like the progression of him learning Shane and also loving him for who he is as he is.
Right, because especially since Shane is autistic, like there are certain like tics about him that are different than how other people would handle it. And I think you see, especially in episode 6, but even in season 2, or not season 2, episode 2, season 2. But in episode 2,
girl?
you see in the bathroom when Ilya walks in, cocky smirk on his face, thinking shit's sweet.
Yes.
Shane says, "What the fuck do you want, Rosanov?" And that smile was wiped clean off his face. Like he immediately was like, "Okay, something's wrong." Like he read the situation, because again, they are not a couple here. He could have easily blew it off like, "Okay, you're not my boyfriend. Like you're not a couple." But instead, he read that Shane was upset and decided to try to comfort him in the only way he knew how to at the moment. And we see the way that changes as each episodes progress. And I just think that's beautiful. I love them. Bad.
Ugh.
We are, in fact, off that Hollanov. Bad.
Bad. Okay.
Bad. I'm telling you, create like
my fix.
Like we need to come up with a drink called Off That Hollanov. Like,
and we need to trademark that.
A white Russian.
Well, yes.
Yeah. No.
Lovely. Well, that is going to wrap up our press play segment for this episode. And we are going to move into segment 2, which is 2 takes, where we give you 2 hot, cold, lukewarm, whatever, takes about any and everything pop culture, fandom, movie, TV, life in general. And in honor of our 2 special guests here today, we are going to let them give their 2 takes during this segment, and we'll discuss. So we will start with Alex, and then we'll hop over to Tress, and then we'll hop back to Alex, and then back to Tress, and then we will move on to our 3rd and final segment.
Okay. My hot take is, I don't think Rachel Reed or Jacob Tierney really gives a fuck that Shane is Asian. I don't think they care. I think him being Asian, him honestly just not being white, like he's biracial, but he presents as an Asian man. Like that's an Asian man. And I think there's such a loud missed opportunity to talk more specifically about the struggles he faces. They mentioned it a few times in the episodes, the same how they did a few times in the books. But I mean, they don't even truly confirm where Shane's mom is from. I think they mentioned Japanese. He didn't confirm that though. Like we just kind of assume that. I think it's such a missed opportunity. I also think I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I think they're thinking about how Shane is in the books, not the show. But in the books, he is significantly shorter than Ilya. Ilya like towers over him in the books. And Shane is also practically hairless in the show compared to Ilya and in the books. I think there's a certain type of man Rachel wanted specifically for Shane, which is fine. But I feel like she just kind of threw the fact that he's Asian. Let's make him Asian, let's do that. And then there's also stereotypes within for Asian men as well. That could be part of the reason why she made Shane Asian, who knows? But I just think for him to be an Asian character and for them to talk about for them being in the closet being such a large part of the show, to not talk about the cultural relevance of Shane being Asian and him being a gay man, him being one of the most popular hockey players in this universe. He's the captain of the team. To not emphasize that a bit more is a bit odd. It's odd. And I think I really hope it is addressed more in the next book, or not next book, but the next season. Even though it isn't addressed in the book, that's one thing I hope is changed, because I just think it's a missed opportunity, and it's kind of like not addressing the elephant in the room. Like, well, yes, he's gay, but like, let's also not forget he's Asian in a very white sport. Like, they tease it a little bit. They mention it a few times, but I'm just like, for them to talk about all the other struggles he's facing, it's odd to not emphasize that one a bit more.
Yeah.
I
feel like they mentioned it, I think, literally that one time in episode 1, like when they're talking to, I don't know who that guy was, but when he was like, we're so grateful to have you on the team. I think that was when they mentioned it. And they should have sprinkled it throughout, but the perfect opportunity would have been, again, slight spoiler, the panic attack that he was having in episode 6. That would have been a great place to put that like cultural piece as well.
Or even in episode 5, when spoiler, when he tells Ilya, when him and Ilya have that conversation in the hotel room in episode 5, and he's coming to the realization that he's gay.
Yeah,
it would have been good there too, because like he doesn't have anyone to talk about this with. I just think it's a very missed opportunity, and that's something that isn't in the books that I hope Jacob Tierney adds to the show. I just think
because it came up with Ilya, because they talked about how I'll never be able to go home again.
Yeah, right. They mentioned it a few times. They mentioned it when the guy was talking to Shane's mom after he got drafted. They mentioned it. Do you have? I actually really hated this line when they asked Shane, "Do you feel any pressures like Serena Williams or Tiger Woods?"
Yes.
His response, I don't remember what it was, but I was just like,
he just said he doesn't really think about things like that.
That's what
he knew that question for what it was, because you're comparing me to
exactly. And no, at the time Shane was younger, so I get it, but I'm just like that. I feel like that question could have been answered in a way that addressed what they were trying to. Like, I just feel like it could have been addressed better. They address it with when he first meets Rose, talking about his last name, and then the one time with Ilya in episode 6. But 4 times, and again, it's mentioned. It's more emphasized with Ilya not being able to go home, even throughout the book. So that is my first hot take.
I think that there's a great take also to like comment on that, because there were a lot of opportunities where like it could have been a great part of the plot, right? Shane's need to be perfect, and like just not just for like himself, but like for his team. Also for the point of like the fans, because like hockey is a predominantly white sport. And if we look at some of the black hockey players that we had, like PK Subban, the response from some of the fans is the most insane. Like we talk about 911 the fandom and like other fandoms and like supernatural fandoms and like all the shit that be going on there. Some of the hockey fans, shit that I've seen them say about the black players has been some of the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life. Right? I feel like him, like that could have also been a point piece, like him wanting to be perfect. Because like, oh, that like the fans, like I'm an Asian man playing in a predominantly white sport, like I gotta be perfect because that's the only way they'll accept me. Like that, it could have been used for a lot of like the cultural point with his family as well. But like also, like it was a wasted opportunity. It
And
genuinely
like Tim said earlier, it's a very well-known stereotype within Asian cultures. So to not touch on it a bit more is just odd. It's a missed opportunity. So I'm really hope in season 2 that's emphasized a bit more, that the struggles he deals with.
I think you were right though in the fact that like it was. I don't think that him being Asian was the point of it was to like actually talk about the culture or like to break in or like use it for any sort of piece of that. I think it was just a way or a means in which to get whatever type of character that she wanted and shows. Like it really shows. And I hate that because like it's a lot of missed opportunities to tackle a lot of things. And like it's also it's clear who her favorite character was. I'm sorry.
Well, yes. Yeah.
It's clear who she loved. When she posted them notes and it was just like, oh, Ilya is this, that, and the third. Shane is not. Do you hate him?
I say actually Shane get behind me. Shane get behind me. Yeah.
She hates him bad. And I'm just like, Bookie, this is a character you created. You don't have to create a character you hated. What?
I'm pretty sure Ilya is the only character in the series who appears in every book.
Yeah,
I think I read that somewhere. That he absolutely is her favorite character, and Shane was definitely created for him. Like he wasn't. I think she didn't create. I don't think she. I think she was just thinking what would be a good match for Ilya, not who would be a good character that I can write to be with Ilya. I don't know the writer's process, but that's how it appears that he was written specifically for Ilya, which is interesting because I would say Heated Rivalry focuses more on Shane than it does Ilya. But season 2 in the long game focuses much more on Ilya and his struggles. But yeah, I think, and I don't, it's one of those things I see a lot of like book talkers talk about this, specifically when talking about like Black characters. I don't think there's anything. It's one of those things where it's like, would you rather have a person of color written into a book created for like a person of color written and have it not have the elephant in the room not be addressed, certain things? Because this is not a universe where everything's perfect and racism doesn't exist and homophobia doesn't exist, right? This is very prevalent to the story. Or would you rather just not have any people of color written into the story? You know what I mean? So it's like either or, and I truly don't know what the answer is. I guess it depends on each character. Like that's a case by case basis, but I think that's kind of what we're stuck in a lot of times with white writers. They don't. Again, with the Asian thing, it's like that's such a common stereotype. We saw it in Glee. I don't know why I keep coming back to Glee, but like Tina Cohen Chang and Mike Chang like literally talked about how much pressure, like what was it, like an Asian F? That was a whole episode. Like so it's a very common theme that we see in media. So for it to not be talked about or not talked about as much is just odd. But yeah, I hope that is my hot take though. I don't really think she gave a fuck that he was Asian. Yeah, that's the take.
Tress?
And I think that's a good take. And just very quickly, and then I'll give mine. I hate to compare these two books because they are very different. But what I kept going back to with Shane's character was what Red, White, and Royal Blue. and Alex's character, because I think that you have two opposite sides of the coin. So like I feel like with Alex Claremont Diaz, it was very clear that this was written by a white person who knew little to nothing about Latino heritage, Latino culture, just the way that character was written. And so I feel like that author went too far left, but then I feel like Rachel went too far right. You know? And it's like I do think it is important to have characters in color, like characters of color written by white authors, because we deserve to be in the narrative as well. But I think that there needs to be a level of care that is taken by these authors that they very rarely take. So then we just end up being pawns in the storyline.
Right. Like, let's just effort. That's what we ask for.
Effort.
That's all.
You know, if you don't have an Asian person you can talk to ask some questions, you may need to self-reflect, you know?
Right.
Why don't you have any Asian friends? You don't have anyone? You can text, call me, beat me if you want to reach me type shit.
Okay.
Like I, even if you're not besties, you should have someone like, hey, I'm writing this book. I need to have a question on a character, da 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 da. Shit, Google. Like,
Google is your friend.
It's free.
free.
Use it.
Yeah.
Okay, my hot take. I'm so excited. Okay, so my hot take is about the Heated Rivalry fandom.
Oh,
Okay.
I feel like, for the most part, I've seen some wild things on Twitter, but I feel like for the most part, the fandom has kept it cute-ish, cute adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
I do worry about what is about to occur during hiatus, because I feel like part of this current fandom culture, and we talk a lot about this on live, there's something about a hiatus that stirs up trouble. And I'm already starting to see this with the rumors that, and I hate to even bring this, that Connor might be dating Francois, and like the way that people are talking about that, calling him a groomer, calling him a creep, calling him a weirdo. I just think we're going to start veering off into a place that's going to get very uncomfortable for all three of the guys, for Connor, for Francois, for Hudson. And that just makes me very nervous, because I feel like up until this point we've had such like a lovely community, and they've loved us so much, and it's been so fun. But I worry about them too, because they're not deep into the industry yet. Like, this is their first big project, and this is their first time really being exposed to this. And like we know with Hudson Baby especially, he ain't got no PR training. So I'm just worried he gonna end up saying something crazy, or something gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can just see this veering off. So I'm just wondering, like, where do y'all see the Heated Rivalry fandom going over this hiatus? And are y'all starting to see these problems popping up as well, like popcorn?
Yeah.
well, a
Yeah.
boring fandom is an unpredictable fandom.
Mhm.
And I think, like you said, Tress, everything's been cute so far, like, because we've been entertained. We've had new content for us to talk about. When there's no new content, people like to create content out of nothing. Because I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. If allegedly, right? Allegedly, Francois and Connor, who gives a fuck? Both of them
Yes.
handsome. And
They grown.
people acting
fuck.
like Francois is like some 70-year-old man and Connor's like freshly 18.
Exactly.
That boy's frontal lobe fully developed.
It
And
is.
it's not like Francois, like they're acting like it's some huge, like this is Leonardo DiCaprio type's rich man versus like some new up and comer. I'm like, child, it ain't that deep. It really ain't. That's a grown man with another grown man and whatever. But I think the Heated Rivalry fandom is made up of a bunch of people who are upset at their own fandoms, the fandoms they truly like. So whether it's fandoms of shows that aren't even active anymore, like Supernatural, Destiel shippers, Steric shippers from Teen Wolf, Buddy shippers from 911, like really pick and choose any sort of ship that has been queer baited over the years. It is made up of a bunch of fans from those ships, and then also the fans of like OG fandom, so to speak, of the crazy ones, the Twihards, Directioners, Believers, Supernatural fandom, like all of them. So I think you have a unique mix of fucking crazy in this fandom, to say it lightly. And I think it really is a powder keg about to explode. Shout out to Hamilton. And I really think when it does explode, it's going to be fucking catastrophic. Like, it's going to happen. We have over a year until season 2. It's going to happen. And all I'm gonna say is I don't give a fuck. As long as it didn't come out, anyone said nigga, I don't care. But this is why I mind my business and I don't get too involved with the actors. Like, I don't follow any of them on Instagram. I think people need to have a level of discernment. But I think, again, we've talked about it so many times. This show has woken up a level of fan obsession that people have not experienced since they were teenagers. Like, they haven't felt this alive since they were 13, 16, 17, tweeting about a movie or a band or whatever. So I think you have those people, but those people who have fully developed frontal lobes now, right? So it's a weird mix. And I'm like, I truly don't know where it's gonna go, but I do think I don't think it's gonna be good. I'm gonna tell you that. I do think it's gonna blow up. I do.
It's for sure gonna blow up, and it's gonna irritate me. It's gonna irritate me. I think because we talk about like losing the art of shutting the fuck up. We have also lost the art of like minding your motherfucking business. Like, I just don't understand why. And I made a video about it because, like, honestly, them people don't owe us nothing. I need people to understand that, like, acting, it is another profession. They don't owe us nothing but what they was paid to do. They don't owe you nothing about who they in a relationship with. They don't owe you nothing about their family. They don't owe you nothing about them. Like, it's a plus that we get it. It's a plus that they want to make videos and like do interviews and this, that, and the third. If that man is dating him, why the fuck does it matter to you? Like, it's just, you don't know them people. You don't know them. Like, it irritates me real bad because, like, it also seems like a lot of them, this is like their first experience in the fandom, or like their first, like Alex said, like their first experience with like loving something so bad. And it's just like, but I need you to use your brain. I don't know if it's just air between their marbles just rolling in that bitch. I need you. Like, I need someone to like use something. It's something up there. I don't know. We lost, like, don't nobody got their thinking caps on. We no critical thinking around here. I just feel like you wouldn't want anybody to treat you the way that like they're treating some of the actors in these shows. So like, let's not do it. And like, y'all like to thumb thug in the comments and like, cause you hide behind a little animated Abby or whatever. I don't know. Y'all just weird on the internet, and I need y'all to stop because like, it's just relax. Just consume the media. Like, consume what was put out for it, like for you. Like, their personal lives is not like media for you to consume. The show is. That's it. That's all. Like, what if they fucking, so what?
Good for them, honestly.
Wait, how does that make your day any different? Let me ask that question. For anybody listening to this,
grooming allegations, I'm like, we're just saying words now.
We're just
doing
grooming.
He literally he's 25.
2 coworkers dating is grooming now. Like, mind you, 2 adult coworkers, like into adulthood. Like, that's grooming now.
I hate when people learn words and they just
and I know for a fact anyone who's saying grooming, they have to be like under the age of 23. Like,
gotta be.
Oh, definitely. Because it's not like he met him when he was 17 and he was 40. He met him when he was, I mean, I guess maybe 24.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Like, hello. And not even, because it only took him 2.5 days to film the season. So he was
like, he could have been around, met him at 25. Like, even at 24 though, like,
that's still grown.
Right. And honestly, again, whenever I see pretty actors date and people get upset, I'm like, you just mad it's not you.
Right. You're just mad it's not you.
I'm like, Lord knows I'm 27, but if I ever pop up with a rich 40-something-year-old man who's in Hollywood, I need everyone to mind they goddamn business. Because I'm gonna piss everyone off. I'm gonna piss everyone off. Because I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm not lost at all.
Don't worry about me.
Mind your business, actually. And I don't mind telling you that every day. Mind your motherfucking business. That also brings a point, though, like when everybody was questioning like their sexuality and things, to me it kind of did feel like it just was coming from a bunch of people that wanted to know if they had the opportunity to fuck them. And the answer is you don't.
Don't.
You don't know them people, baby.
Sure don't.
It's whether they are straight and or gay. The possibility of you actually getting to date one of them is slim to fucking none. So let's relax.
And you know what? I'm going to say something, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to form it as a question because it is a question. And I'm saying this as someone who is hyper aware that I am straight. But I've always been a big believer that sexuality is fluid. I don't think I think people know what they like what they like. But the same way I say I'm a straight woman, I'm like, I haven't met every woman in the world. Who knows? I may be a woman, you never know. But I also know I'm not looking for a woman, right? Like, I mean, I'm not looking for a man either, but you get my point. So I think it's one of those things. I'm like, I hear so many people within the queer community talk about how sexuality is fluid, how it's a spectrum. It's not just white and black for a lot of people. And it's interesting to me that like this argument always comes up because I'm like, well, is it fluid or is it not? Because I'm like, just because he's dating a girl or rumored, allegedly dating a girl, that does not mean he's straight. Because I'm like, the same people who yell about, bi erasure, but I'm like, just because they're in a, what's it called? They're not in a same-sex relationship doesn't make them straight. Like, I mean, Rachel Reed and her husband are both bisexual. So I'm like, it seems like it's not catch-22, but it's like they only want things to fit into a box when they can, like looking for like confirmation bias type thing. And I'm like, I don't, like, just from an outsider's point of view looking in, because this is never a conversation or any sort of dialogue I would engage with on like TikTok, because you need too much nuance for this and just people to think, and people don't watch videos all the way through. As you can literally see in the analytics, they stop watching at the 17-second point. So anything you say after, might as well start giving a pasta recipe. But I think that's just something that I find so interesting, because I'm like, the same people who I've literally seen make content about how there is, erasure of bisexual people within the queer community, and that sexuality is fluid, it's not black and white. These are the same people who get mad when a man who's playing a gay man in a show is allegedly dating a woman. Mind you, ain't the actor who plays Kip straight? I think I read that somewhere, that he's straight. Oh. Nobody gives a fuck about that man. But, and like all these other, I'm like, it's just, the focus seems to be on Hudson, and I'm very hyper aware of the focus on Hudson because he is the only person of color in the main cast. So I'm like, people kind of need to start checking themselves. And one, ask yourselves, does it matter that much if the show and the book is written by people a part of the community and there's a clear level of respect? Like, I haven't heard anyone from the queer community talk about that Hudson is not portraying this character right, that his answers are rude, that his answers are offensive. There's so much care that he has for this community that has been displayed blatantly. Like, he's not hiding it. He's never been quiet about his support, right? So I'm like, it's not like you got someone like what's that actor's name? Y'all know I be confusing actors. Shit, I can't think of his name. But I just think he's so, but again, not my community, so I can't, people are going to feel the way they feel, but I'm just like, I feel like a large part of the conversation is always removed when the conversation comes up of gay actors playing, only gay actors, and I guess only openly out gay actors playing gay roles.
I also think that, like, when it comes to Hudson and Connor, that it's questioned a lot with Hudson and not Connor, because a lot of people assume Connor's sexuality based on the way in which he acts and his mannerisms and how he talks, which I also think is very fucked up for y'all in that. Because you don't know that man either. And like, because even before like any of the drama came out or any like, I'm not going to reiterate the things that came out on Twitter or whatever, because they still don't confirm anything actually. But even before those things were said or like brought about, people just assumed Connor's sexuality. And so there was never a question there. So while it's also racism, it's also because y'all can't like, or feel like Hudson doesn't necessarily act gay. or present as gay. So that leaves a question in your mind. I need y'all to get it together.
Because if he came out as bi, what does that change?
What does it change?
What happens?
Doesn't.
What
But if
truly
they
tell
were-
me? What happened?
If
What
they want
happened?
to get on live, if they want to get on Instagram live right now and say, actually, we both gay, what now?
What now?
Then
You
what?
still don't got no chance.
Exactly.
Stop,
Don't
y'all.
have a chance.
What now?
And guess what? It doesn't change a goddamn thing about how the show is produced, written,
Nothing.
or acted out. Nothing.
Nothing.
And don't. And I feel like with this conversation, it always takes me back to Kit Connor from Heartstopper when he was freshly 18 and these people forced him out of the closet when he was a child.
Crazy.
Like, we cannot be having these conversations about like, oh, bi erasure and oh, homophobia and oh, outing people when you are actively trying to out people. If Connor or Hudson or anybody has something to tell us, they will, but it's not our business. So, like, trying to force these people out of the closet, you're weird for that.
Mind you,
Big
who
weird.
are acting on a show about being in the fucking closet.
Right.
I'm like,
Come on.
what is going on? I'm like, you guys are not only missing the point of the show, but also just so fucking nosy. I think while it's great that a lot of people feel, have no issue telling the whole world what their sexuality is, like it no issue. I love the fact that in this country, for the most part, because it's still not everywhere, but for the most part, people feel comfortable doing that. But again, that doesn't mean you have to. And also, Hudson not even fucking American. Canadian.
Yeah. My least favorite people are, and then we'll move to the next. I forgot we were doing the two
Oh
teams.
yeah, the next
I
topic.
totally forgot. My least favorite people are the ones who disguise their nosiness as social justice. Oh, we just want queer representation and blah blah. You ain't never gave a fuck and a half about representation of any kind, and now all of a sudden, it is imperative that you know their real life sexuality to
And they never
determine
care.
whether this is queer representation or not.
Girl,
Right.
come off it.
And they never care when it's women.
Never.
You know how many women, how many actresses have played lesbians, and not
Straighter than a
not
pole.
one of them have received any sort of hate, and probably because it's different audiences, women versus men. But 'cause at the end of the day, queer men are still men. Still men. Like, so there's a lot of but I'm like the girl from I Love LA, didn't she play lesbian in Bottoms? And then her co-star want to say, queer actors need to be, or queer characters need to be played by queer actors, or whatever he was saying. Did you tell your co-star that?
Right. Didn't
Y'all
East
had that
Side
same conversation?
Smoke? Right. You have all that smoke for these two boys. Like, you have the same smoke for that girl? Really? Like, this goofy, just picking and choosing. Irritate me.
Issa Rae played a lesbian in Black Mirror.
Yep.
Did anybody say anything there?
Right. Nobody gives a fuck when
I'm sorry.
It
was clear.
Didn't Anthony Mackie
Yeah, it
too?
was clear.
It was
clear. It was
clear.
like, it was to the point where I almost turned it off because I was like, like I love me some Issa Rae. I was like, Mama, you.
Oh God! I was like, oh, this is. We need to have a conversation about this off here too, because
off here because I've never talked to anyone about that because that was one of those. Yeah, we gotta talk about that after.
Yeah, we need that in the group chat. We need that in the group chat.
Yeah.
And you know what? Tracy Toms, pretty much every single character that woman ever played is a lesbian, and I'm pretty sure she is straighter than a pole, as far as I know.
Allegedly, right? That we know.
Allegedly,
right.
She may not be, but don't nobody care about that. It's actually a running joke that she only plays lesbians, and nobody's mad about it. So why does it matter when it's these two boys?
Mandy Moore.
Well, yeah.
See, always kissing a woman. She in Grey's Anatomy now, kissing on Teddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is Mandy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I ain't know that.
Wait, Teddy kissing girls?
And is. And it is.
She's a girl kisser now.
But if we always been a girl kisser. She named her daughter after her let me tell you, Teddy.
Okay, please. But here's the thing. I know nothing about that Grey's Anatomy, and I know nothing about what's going on right now. But Owen deserved Teddy. Like all
it's
the karma, because he was the real villain. Whatever she did to that man,
Owen
because
deserves
I
death.
he deserved every lick of
putting
it.
that
Owen-
man through hell.
Owen deserves death.
Yeah.
And he'll get it swiftly.
That's about the only reason why I would go back to Grey's Anatomy, just so I could see him get his comeuppance. That's it.
Okay, Alex, take number 2.
Okay. Sorry, we yapping.
Next hot
This
take.
episode gonna be 5 hours long.
Right. My next hot take, I guess this isn't really a hot take, but more like a lukewarm take. But I think what's it called? Jacob Tierney needs to not listen to anyone in the fandom in terms of what to do for season 2. And I'm including myself in that. Like, truly, we'll all have our opinions.
Right.
But I trust that man with my life. Like, if I were to ever have a child, I would name it Jacob. Like, that man has done such a phenomenal job bringing these characters to life. He don't need to listen to nobody. Don't bring no more execs. No, keep the same writers, everyone. The same lighting crew, same camera lenses, everything. Because I have seen some terrible takes. I've seen some great takes. The only thing I would suggest, and I pray, this is the only thing I would like really root for, that he keeps the actors relatively unknown. Like, go find some people who are working at an Olive Garden right now and book them, because obviously still book the best people for the role. But he said when they sent out scripts to people, a lot of people weren't even interested in auditioning because of the nature of the show. But I'm sure after this first season, now everyone's about to be interested in it. And while that's great, I don't want to see no Nepo babies. I don't want to see nothing. Like,
No.
I don't want to see a single veneer in season 2.
Oh, Alex.
Like, I want natural teeth. I don't want no lip fillers, like nothing. Give me new, fresh, organic faces. That's the only thing I hope he listens to. But everything else, in terms of like storytelling, writing, don't listen to anything any of us have to say, Jacob. Do what you do best, because Lord knows people are fucking stupid. Like, do you? Because he can do the job, and he can do it incredibly well. And I trust him to do whatever he needs to do to bring the season 2 to life. Do it.
And honestly, I feel like he's not going to listen to anybody, just based off of like how he talks in like the interviews that he's had. I feel like he really just be like, bitch, I know what I'm doing. And I love that, because you do, babe. You do.
As he should.
I've seen a few pictures of her on set, but I wonder how involved is Rachel Reed in the like
don't need to be
actual
involved.
like. I listen. The funniest thing to me is when people are like, "Girl, shut up! You don't know you. You don't know what you're talking about, girl. You don't know Shane. Like, you don't know my close personal friend Shane Hollander like I do. Girl, shut up.
She don't.
And don't. I'm sorry. I'll stand.
She don't know my man.
But I'm curious, like, how involved do we think she is? Like I said, I've seen some photos of her like on set and stuff, but like, I wonder, like, is she giving feedback on scenes and stuff like that, or was it like
she has
take the book and make it do what it do?
In the credit, she's listed as one of the producers, or producing consultant or something like that. I don't remember what the official, but I saw her.
I think it was consultant.
And the thing is, I never see the credits, because as soon as I'm done, I go straight back to the beginning.
I watched the credits for episode 6. That was the first time I watched it all the way through. First time, episode 6.
Because you got to see
the babies in the car.
Yeah. Like, but she's a consultant. So I do think.
So she probably is around.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think he uses her for some stuff, but like, he pretty much keeps it like, I think it's him showing like it. I think he might ask her certain things, and I also think that Hudson and Connor, like, have conversations with her and ask her things.
Yeah. I just I need him to not listen to nobody, and except for maybe Connor and Hudson. That's it.
And maybe,
like, get him, like, but he has done everything so well. Like, do not fix what ain't broke.
Fair. Okay, Tress.
Okay. Now this one is a little. I'm actually curious to hear what y'all are going to say about this one.
Okay.
So, I don't know how, But there are people in this world that don't like Heated Rivalry. That's not my truth. And I see a lot of people on Twitter hating on it without seeing it because they're mad at the lack of lesbian stories being told, or women love women stories being told. And I think in this country, even though this is a Canadian show, I think just in general, like, we need more queer representation in media, period. Whether it's two men, two women, non binary folks, whatever. And I think that hating on Heated Rivalry just because they're men and you want more women's stories being told is the wrong way to go about it. Because I think that, you know, when homophobic people hear it, or people who are just like not for it hear it, they're like, oh, well, let's just cut all of it. And I never wanted to get to that point. So I'm just curious, like, what do y'all think about that conversation? Because I think it is important. And I think we do need to have more female centered stories. But I think being like, oh, well, we don't want to see this yaoi slop. Well, it's actually not slop. It actually is a beautiful love story between two men. So I'm just curious, like, what do y'all think about that conversation?
I will keep mine short. I feel like two things can be true at the same time.
You took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what the fuck I was going to say.
You can agree and feel like we need more queer representation, and also agree and understand that everything's not for everybody. Right. You know? And that's okay. Like, both of those things, both of those thoughts can exist in your head at the same time. And you can still enjoy the things that you enjoy, you know, because just like Alex said, like, and we love the show. Like, if you follow any of us on TikTok, you know we are off that Hollanov bad. But we are like still able to critique and say, oh, they should have done this, or they should have leaned into Shane being Asian, you know? So I think that both things can exist, you know? But I think that it's insane to automatically say I don't, because I'm like, then do you watch anything? You know, because I'm like, I find it, because like I said, everything's not for everybody. Like, it is impossible for any type of media, art, songs, movies, content creators. It's so hard to make one thing that is going to please everybody. Right. And so I'm like, if you have that mentality, what do you consume? Because there's not a thing on this planet that caters to everything and everybody. So I'm like, to have that mentality and then automatically assume, oh, I don't want to watch this because it's not X, Y, and Z. I feel like you're probably robbing yourself of a lot of things in life, you know?
You are. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think also, too, like, you have to support these things. Like, there are plenty of women love women books that I've read that I think are amazing and would be great adaptations one day. Y'all not reading them, because if y'all were, there would be a demand for it. Like, y'all got to read the books. Like, Last Night at the Telegraph Club, I would love to see that adapted. I would love to see The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo adapted, or, you know, things like that. Y'all ain't reading books. Or if y'all did, y'all was hating on them. So now they're not going to make the show or the movie.
I think, because y'all personally know that I live by two things can be true. I've said that.
Watch it.
Like that's, I live by it. Like, you can think that, like, because it is fact, we do need more women love women representation, like, in lesbian stories. I have a couple books that I think I would love for them to actually go up. Tress, you're right. Y'all don't read them. Y'all don't hype them. Like, it's just, in order for these things to pop and make sense to, like, Hollywood or any sort of, like, studios to want to produce them, it has to be a demand for it. If you are not providing that demand, they're not going to do it. But then also, on the back of that, we need queer representation, period, right? We're getting a good one, right, with Heated Rivalry. To hate on it and say that, like, oh, I'm not going to watch it because it doesn't have lesbians in it, I think we're taking a step backward, okay? Like, you should want to support it because it's a step forward. Because actually, when we talk about the gay representation with males that we've had previously, where's the good ones? Unless it's fucking tragic. Because, like, let's be honest, because everybody want to pull up Brokeback Mountain out their pocket.
That movie devastated me.
Devastated.
Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that sad when I turned it on. I was shook. Like, I think that's the first TikTok I ever posted. Like, my reaction.
Tragic.
I was like, what the fuck?
Because they be running it back. They be like, oh, y'all need to watch Brokeback Mountain if we talking about gay media. No, first of all, like, this is the first one that, like, we get, like, them actually falling in love without, like, any sort of, like, deeply traumatic things in like a happy ending. And so I look at it as like a step forward as somebody who is queer, who would love to see stories that are of like me loving women that look like me type of thing. I would love that, right? I can also support this. Like two things can be true.
Yes.
I don't always have to tear one thing down because like we don't have this other thing. And like I feel like people lack like discernment when it comes to figuring out like the stepping blocks. Like, okay, if we get this and it's great and they see the demand for it. And then like we have other books, like obviously that would, I think for me, it would make me think, okay, let's run this other one up because we would like to see it adapted too. Like, I need y'all to use.
But you can't go from 0 to 100. It's not going. It's
Right.
You're not going to wake up and tomorrow like
Yeah.
you know it exists.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, the little representation we do have out there is never like consistently hyped. I mean, look at 911. They swear up and down that show is homophobic because two men aren't together, despite the fact that the first episode had Athena's husband coming out late in life. You have two lesbian couple. One's a fucking rocket scientist, mind you.
Oh,
You have another character, granted, racist piece of shit, but he came out late in life. You have a black gay man who marries another black gay man. Like there is so much queer representation. Buck, who comes out later in the show, is bisexual. Like there is a lot of queer representation on that show. That show is many things, but homophobic is not one of them. And I think, like you guys said, like we need two things can be true at once. Because I think of like other shows like Grey's Anatomy, like Callie in Arizona, wildly beloved couple. Like people loved Callie in Arizona, and Grey's Anatomy has consistently continued to keep queer characters in the show, and I think part of the issue is that straight women typically don't get hype for any sort of like woman love woman romance. Like it's just they're rarely the target audience and they rarely are the audience. Like ice machine, sorry. Like they will occasionally, I didn't know what that was, unless someone's at my door. Like they will occasionally lock in, like if it's a secondary couple, like Grey's Anatomy, like 911. But I can't think of like Brittany and Santana. I can't think of too many shows where the main couple were two women. Like I can't think of any. And I think that's really because the thing is women are the biggest consumers in this country. So when women latch on to something, that's what helps pick something up, right? And I think because only a specific demographic of women largely engage with like lesbian romance, that's part of the reason. And to be honest, there's a lot of reasons why I think a lot of straight women don't engage with it. I think part of it, and a big part, is that straight women are attracted to men, so they want to see men. Like I can never say this word, the fetishes.
Fetishization.
That word, thank you. That word trips me up every time, but you have that of it, of gay men. You have the fact that I think there's certain dynamics within a relationship that women, like even when I talk to my friends, that they don't see in women. You know what I mean? Like they don't, especially in women who don't present as masculine. Like there's so many internal biases that straight women have when it comes to looking at that media. And again, it's also just not as prevalent. So you really do have to look for it to go find it. And people don't want to look for it. And I've only read maybe like one or two. Like I have not read that many compared to how many like romances I've read. But I'm also aware enough to admit I don't look for them. I also don't really look for any books. I let whatever book talk feeds me or whatever's recommended to me on Audible. That's usually my next read. So there's a level of effort that has to be put into it, I think, for the other half. Because while queer women are one half, straight women are the other half of the largest consumer base in the country. And I just think a lot of straight women don't want to see it. But I think, well, I don't even think it's not they don't want to see it. They don't want to invest in it. I think that's the right word. like where it's the only one. Like, because again, people loved Cali in Arizona. So it's not even a matter of them not liking it. It's just there's no effort to try and find it. Like, and then when we have it, it's canceled after one season, like that vampire show on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And even looking at Cali in Arizona and Hen and Karen, there's that age gap thing again. Like, these are all people who are worried about marriage.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like but also men, you know, they're gonna have that privilege of being represented a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was 2 takes. Any additional thoughts on either of those takes? Thank you both for taking that segment. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was nice to just sit back and let y'all.
Right.
You know, it was nice. It was nice.
Right.
I love that.
Okay. So moving in.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was talking really to myself, but I was saying I feel like we'll probably have hotter takes. Like after we're done, I'll probably text y'all and be like, "Wait, I have a hotter take."
That's okay. Save it. Because
That's okay.
There's still 2 episodes,
right?
That we're gonna film together. If you all didn't know, but there's still 2 additional episodes.
Oh yes, of course. Yes. We still have 4 more episodes left.
Exactly. So we are moving into our last and final segment of the show, and that is Read the Tags, where we talk about all things fan fiction. Sometimes we give recommendations, sometimes we do a discussion question. For this episode, we are going to do a discussion question, and we'll switch it up for the next one and prepare some recommendations. So, the question that I have for us all to discuss is is there a character or characters that you only like in fan fiction but not in canon? What do the fics do to fix this character?
Like in any show or
any
just
show.
Oh.
Any show, movie, any fandom, is there a character or characters that you only like in the fan fiction universe, but not at all in canon?
Probably Scott McCall.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Scott McCall.
Like, absolutely. Well,
yeah.
Yes.
To be fair, there is the tag where it's like Scott McCall is a bad friend.
And I eat it up.
But when that tag isn't used, a lot of the times they write him a lot better. Yeah. So I'd probably say Scott McCall, because I have no problem with him being featured in a fic. Because unless I know he's meant to be the enemy, like then it's like, okay, then I have that in my head. But for the most part, I think fans write him to be a lot kinder and a better friend to Styles and truly to everyone than he is in the show. Yeah, he's probably the only one. I can't. I'd have to think about anyone else.
Oh, I'm trying to think, because like obviously like there are the ones that I don't really care for within the show, but like I don't necessarily like them in the fic. I like the way in which they're used in the fic. You know what I mean? Tommy Bashing.
Tommy.
Eat that shit.
I
don't give a fuck about him in that show.
Yes.
Yeah. Love when they use him as a
curious. The Tommy Kennard bashing tag did just pass 1,000 fics. I do keep an eye.
Yes.
I do keep an eye on it.
I got some more I need to go eat up.
I do keep an eye on it.
I don't like him in the show, right? I don't care about him in the fic either, but I do like when we use him as a plot device, because honestly, we should have used him as a plot device in the actual fucking show. But whatever. I digress. Scott, it was a real good one, Alex. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like him in the show
at all.
I don't really care for him in the fics either, but I will say that you are correct that they do write him better in the fics than how they had him in the show. I feel like there's something else to somebody else say something, and then I might have another one.
I got mine too.
Okay.
From that one program Josh Russo. I hate that character on the show. Believe it or not, I love Brian Safi. I hate Josh Russo. I love him and Eddie having diva offs and fix though. Or like when him and Eddie like fake date to rage bait Buck. Love that. And then also, and this one's gonna be a little controversial. Peggy Carter.
Oh, I hate
Doing her big one.
Oh,
She
not
be
even
doing her big one
controversial.
on
Fuck
AO3.
her. Not even controversial.
I know, but
hate it.
sometimes she be a sister on the fix. Sometimes she be a sister.
I'm gonna tell you something, Tress. I don't think I have ever read a fic where that bitch doesn't die. Like, I truly don't think, like, when I tell you, not even because of the Stucky of it all, I cannot stand her. I think I read one fic where she was in a relationship with another woman and she was married to Steve and her girlfriend was married to Bucky, and they were like in lavender marriages and they lived in like the same building or something like that, like back in like the 40s. That was cute. That was cute. But
I hear you, sister.
yeah.
I hear you.
But I can see I feel like in the fic, she's probably a lot better. Like, because they probably make her story make some sense.
Yeah, and you know, she's not like, let me not go there because you know the Peggy Carter shooters. But anyway,
do I know them?
Oh, you know,
like,
you know.
Yeah.
I just feel like on the Sam Bucky tag because you know I live there. That's my house. She does her big one.
I can see that because I don't like Peggy Carter.
Oh, she annoying.
She works my nerves.
I cannot stand her. Another one with me would probably be Jace from Shadowhunters.
I've never read a Shadowhunters fic.
I've never read one either.
I dabbled into a couple of them, and like he plays a real good role when it comes to Magnus and Alec and like some of the different ones or whatever. And some people just seem to write their story better because like if y'all know in the show, Jason Clary, I fucking hate that relationship.
My brother.
That's disgusting.
Hate our dad and our mom.
Hate it. I
just thought of a character. But to be fair, I ended up loving him in the show. So this is kind of answers it. But John Murphy from the 100.
I don't know. Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And because let me tell you, the 100 fics eat down. Oh, because I love an apocalyptic AU. So the universe it's set in already eats for me. But which sucks because so many of the writers do like modern AUs. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see them at a coffee shop. I'm trying to see them fight to the death. But anyway, I think Murphy in like the first 2 seasons was so, because Tay, I know you're watching it, so I won't spoil it for you. But in the beginning, he's an asshole in the show. Like he's an asshole.
He is. I hate him right now.
I ended up loving his character. He had great development, but in the show or in the fics, when it's based off like those first few seasons he's in, fucking hate him. But do I love him in a fic? Oh, Tay, you are in for a great journey because you want to talk. You like character development too.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to eat up Murphy. Like.
I hate him right now. I hate him badly.
As you should. Yeah, as you should. Like his character. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it's like on par with like, what's his name? Well, no, his character development went to shit in season 8, so I take it back.
Jon Snow. That's the only character I know from.
No, not him. I was thinking of Jaime Lannister.
Oh yeah.
Because he had great development, like him and Reek, Theon Greyjoy. That man.
You calling him Reek is taking me out. Those some scenes. I'm not gonna lie to you. Those scenes with him and Bolton. What's his name?
The bastard Ramsay Bolton. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Never fucking hated the character more. I like what he got was honestly him and that damn bitch Cersei. They should have had a worse death actually.
Ramsay Bolton had a fitting death. He was eating a lot.
I wanted it to be worse, but I wanted it to be worse. I wanted it to be worse.
See it.
Like actually, like I know that it was supposed to be like no, I want it worse.
Cersei absolutely should have gotten worse. I wanted to see Cersei lit on fire. Like,
You
truly.
get to spoilers. If y'all ain't watched the shit, you get to die with your love.
Right.
The fuck?
Your brotherly love, get the fuck out of here. No, she should have been lit on fire and probably should have had like her skin peeled off or something. And Arya should have been the one. Like, she was
got the Rick treatment. Actually,
awful character. Well, she was now. I hated her character, but I love me a villain.
She's a great villain. She was a great villain.
That scene. I'm sorry, I'm going a tangent, but the scene with Marjorie Tyrell when she's about to blow up that goddamn church, and Marjorie's like, "Listen to what I'm telling you. Cersei is not here. That's because she does not intend to suffer the consequences." Oh, that accent! Real accent. That scene is so good. Like, Marjorie Tyrell was a great character. Gone too soon, but she went out fighting. Give you that.
And then her granny too. I love that old lady. I'm sorry.
Tell her I did it. Tell her it was me.
I said that to the Business Insider journalist when they asked, "Can you use your name when you're talking about your former employer?" I said, "You sure can. I want them to know it was me." Yeah.
I could talk about that show all day long. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have a question though about Fix and kind of about Heated Rivalry, kind of both.
Yeah.
You guys like Hayden? Because there seems to be a divide in the fandom over whether people, I think like book readers versus show watchers, like people seem to be a bit split on if they like Hayden or not. Like there's like one trope that's going around that Hayden is like half in love with Shane. And I see that in Fix a lot. And
send me those links.
And so you have that trope where he's like in love with Shane, but like doesn't really like Shane is kind of like his bi-awakenings. Like I've never been interested in a man before, but I do love me some Shane Hollander type shit. But then you also have people who are like, fuck Hayden, he's a piece of shit because of what happens in the long game.
I don't go there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I haven't seen a lot of the discourse. I've seen the vibe that Hayden is. There's something there with Shane.
Like a man crush.
Right. I can see they're not going off of nothing. You know, like I definitely picked up that slight vibe like from the first time we saw them interact. So they're not going off nothing. I personally feel indifferent to Hayden. At least right now. I do know what happened in the long game, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. But I think at this juncture, I am indifferent about Hayden.
Yeah. I don't like what happened in the long game either. I don't necessarily hate him for such, because, I don't want to give any like spoilers or anything. I don't necessarily hate him for it because but I do think that like the people that do are mostly the book readers. I think if people are just watching the show, like they love Hayden's character, because I feel like in the show he's far funnier, and I think it's because of the actor. The actor is charismatic, and so he's like easy to like, and I think he brings life to the character. So I do like Hayden because I referred to him as Mr. Pike in a recent video, and I was heavy on that actually. I like him. I like him.
I would say I like I'm like kind of indifferent. Like knowing what happens in the book, I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah.
But I feel like he did, if I recall correctly, redeem himself from what happens in the book, like in the end. So
But I'm just going off season 1. Like
just on season 1 though, he's great. No reason.
I love him.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, the only thing he did in season 1 that pissed me off was put his suitcase on one bed and then lay down in his outside clothes on the other bed. Yeah. Like, which one's meant to be Shane? That shit pissed me off. I was like, oh. I didn't like that.
I'm curious where the perspective comes from, because if you're just thinking about the show, I would say Shane's not that good of a friend to Hayden.
Fuck it.
I feel like there's several instances, several moments where like, he's not the best friend to Hayden.
I can't even remember that baby name.
You know, like Exhibit A, like the phone. Not to spoil it, but the phone call. Like I
That
feel like
phone
there have
call.
been several instances where Shane is not like the best friend to Hayden. You know, so I think if you're just going based on the show, you know, that might
That's
influence how you feel
interesting.
about him.
I always looked at Shane and Hayden's relationship as like Hayden forcing his friendship onto Shane
Yeah.
because Shane's not close with anyone else on the team.
Yeah.
So, and isn't Hayden a little bit older than Shane too? Like, I always looked at it as, okay, this new guy, rookie, I'm gonna be his friend. Like, and just he's like Shane's emotional support extrovert almost. Um, that's how I viewed it because like even just him insisting, hey, you want to come over for dinner? Like my wife can be like, whatever you eat, like she can make it. We can figure it out. Um, I feel like Shane isolates himself a lot because even his teammates in well, not spoiler, but episode 4, they're like, "Oh, come out to the bar. Like, I don't care what you're doing. You always say no. Like, come out, come out." So I feel like Hayden is that one person that Shane can't like. I don't want to say hide from, but because he in the closet. But you know what I mean. Like he can't. Like he very much is hiding, but just he can't.
Yeah.
He can't reject the friendship completely, like he can with the other guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Any other thoughts for the read the tag segment? We promise for the next one we will give some solid recommendations.
Oh no.
Out.
Yes. Oh no, my bad. Sorry, that's y'all have to forgive me when a thought comes into my head. I be having to like, I'm sorry. But there's a video of this guy talking about he was writing fics and publishing them on AO3. Don't know the guy's TikTok or anything, but somebody commented on whatever fic that he posted, and they gave him like pointers or whatever about like the tags because he had tagged it wrong, didn't tag it right. And like I think they told him like, hey, you should revisit the tags and like do them correctly or whatever. Because you know they real strict about that. And like they should be, because like it's a system.
It's a good system.
It's a good system. You gotta adhere to it. He got mad at that person and like blocked them, deleted the comment and blocked them. So like people are in his comments eating him up because they're just like, hey, you blocked the person because they was trying to help you.
I'm sorry, that's a strict program.
Listen,
And
and for that to come out of this chat right here when we're pro block.
Because we be blocking people all the time.
You block people just because the sky is blue. We like, block.
Right.
That is crazy though. Again, like new people coming into fandom and not knowing the rules.
No, because he literally said, I'm just trying to post my I just want to write a little bit about Hollanov and post my fix and go. Adhere to the system, nigga. Right. What?
You can do that. Or you can, isn't there a tag for people who choose not to use tags?
Yeah.
It wasn't like no archive warnings or something, like just use that. If you don't want to.
Exactly.
Also, the tags, like tags are hard. Like there's so many ways.
There's so many
to not have to work, to not, if you're not that strict about the tags, there's so many tags that make up for that. That's crazy. Like
insane.
I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit nervous to see what happens with AO3 over these next few months.
They need to quit playing with my website. They need to quit playing because I need that for my mental health. I'm serious.
All right, I'm downloading every fic I see that I love and I'm putting it on my Kindle.
I need to start doing that.
Same. I never do it. I need to start doing that though.
I just downloaded the Hollanov one. I think it's like 60,000. Whereas I'm gonna read that novel. Like 60,000.
Why you ain't send it on a group?
Right. I didn't know they had fics that long over on that tag.
Okay, all right, hold on. We getting into like post-show conversation.
Right. Okay. I know we're at like 2.5 hours, bro.
Right. Thank you all so much for being here. I know this is probably the longest episode we have ever done.
No, our Halloween was 2.5, almost.
This is definitely going to be longer than that. I'm willing to bet. But that's okay because it was all worth it every single second. Thank you both so much, Tress and Alex, for being here. Can you tell them where they can find you?
Yes. Okay. You can find me on TikTok. My username is @HallieHallie. The second Hallie has 3 L's. And I have YouTube, the same at. I will start posting there eventually, someday. But I'm transferring all my Heated Rivalry videos onto YouTube at the moment. So TikTok and YouTube is where you can find me.
Period.
I am at Tress Camille on all socials except Twitter. I'm Fangirl Folklore over there. I'm trying to get off that godforsaken app, so but I'm still there.
Thank you again for being here. We felt like this was the perfect opportunity for guests because we have been on this heated rivalry. We have been on this heated rivalry off that Hollanov journey from the very beginning. And so this just felt so perfect. And we kind of said it earlier, but there will be 2 additional episodes about Heated Rivalry. This next one will be focused on episodes 3 and 4, and then the final one, well, final's a stretch, so we'll probably do some other stuff together. But the third one will be episode 5 and the finale, which might be a little longer because we don't have a lot to say about that.
Get that cottage, okay?
Because we still there. We still at the cottage.
Exactly. You can't see it because I got my little background up, but I'm sitting in there right now.
Listen, you can see I'm at the cottage.
She out there in that water.
I'm actually playing Mermaids with Ilya right after this.
But yes, as always, thank you all for being here, for watching, for listening. We really appreciate it, and we will catch you on the next one.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.